Chapter 101. Chen Yifan raised his brows. He didn't expect that the owner behind this store was a master breeder, which is even rarer than a master trainer. He also observed the price of Pokémon sold in this store along the way. Generally speaking, it is more expensive than those sold by vendors outside. Like a well-qualified slugma, they dare to sell 30W. For example, in Sichuan province, due to environmental factors and the presence of fire-type gymnasiums, the fire-type Pokémon is considered the best-selling, and there is no need to worry about selling. When you go to the coast, there are more Pokémon in the water system. The price of the Pokémon sold is different depending on the nature of the place. Maybe the Pokémon with the same qualifications are sold at a lower price. Although Slugma is relatively weak in the fire system, but because of its powerful explosive power, the price of the fire system Pokémon will not be too low. The lowest is the normal line of Pokémon, most of which are mediocre. Although he didn't know what the qualifications of Chen Yifan's Pokémon eggs were, Director Lu didn't take him down. They didn't accept Pokémon like Centaurette, which were normal. In case of poor qualifications, Centaurette will be difficult to sell. Director Lu decided that if this Pokémon egg could reach a high level, he would grit his teeth and accept it. He would pay a higher price, which would also be regarded as a face for the supernova in Sichuan province. Chen Yifan took the Pokémon egg out of the bag and put it on the instrument. Director Lu pressed the button, the instrument started to flash, and Centaurette's head appeared on the screen. Obviously Chen Yifan was right. It is indeed a Centaurette Pokémon egg. Then, under Director Lu's incredulous eyes, the light gradually changed from white to blue, and soon flashed purple light. Rare. Director Lu took a breath. No, look carefully, there is still orange in the purple light. Purple with orange, there is a chance to achieve excellent qualifications after hatching. After Director Lu's introduction, Chen Yifan understood the meaning of the purple light, and turned to look at the hesitant Director Lu beside him. Do you want to take this Centaurette Pokémon egg? Although it is purple with orange, it must be rare qualified when it hatches, and Chen Yifan still believes in the system's judgment. Accept. Director Lu pondered for a moment, and decided to accept it. Although Pokémon like Centaurette are not easy to sell, Centaurette with rare qualifications will definitely not worry about selling, and it is still purple with oranges, and has a chance to achieve excellent qualifications. As long as the news spreads, there is no fear of selling out. Well, Mr. Chen, as you know, Pokémon like Centaurette are not very popular. But yours is a Pokémon egg, and you have this kind of qualification. I'll give you this number. Said Director Landing, gritted his teeth and gestured. 80, no, 100W, this is the highest price I can give. You can go out and ask. There is absolutely no other company that offers more than us. A Pokémon like Centaurette is worth hundreds of thousands even if rare has the highest qualifications. He just wants to publicize the idea of purple and orange. Moreover, the point of orange and purple is the responsibility of the purchaser. If the hatched ones are not excellent qualifications, but rare, then their trading houses will not pay for it. Seeing Director Lu's hand gesture, Chen Yifan also secretly took a deep breath. How can this sell for 100W? He thought it was 300,000 to 400,000 at most. It's sloppy, but fortunately he didn't take out the Pokémon eggs from the vendors outside. Maybe he would sell them at a random price. Faced with this sincere offer, Chen Yifan of course agreed. With the signing of the sales contract, Chen Yifan's Pokémon egg has officially changed hands. Then the account received the deposit information of 100W Alliance coins. Happy cooperation, Mr. Chen, remember to come to us next time if you have something good in the future. Director Lu smiled and prepared to send Chen Yifan out. After hearing this sentence, Chen Yifan suddenly paused. Is your text evolution stone? Evolution stone? Take it. Director Lu was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, what quality evolution stone is it? They also sell evolutionary stones in the trading line, but they are not as popular as Pokémon, but evolutionary stones, as long as they are of good quality or higher, will not worry about selling them. Chen Yifan thought that selling here is also selling, and going to the auction is also selling. It is better to just sell it directly. The auction will charge a handling fee and wait for a long time to pay back, which is quite inconvenient. Thinking about it, Chen Yifan went back to the trading house with Director Lu again, and under the eyes of Director Lu who couldn't believe it, he took out the exquisite water stone from his pocket very solation. Looking at the blue oval water stone in Chen Yifan's hands, it is like a clear crystal, normal, extremely pure and without any flaws. Director Lu's eyes widened. Awesome water stone. After putting the water stone on the instrument for testing the purity of the ability, Director Lu was even more stunned when he saw the water stone. 100% purity. The best of the best. As long as the purity can reach more than 95, it is considered a masterpiece, and this one that reaches 100 is the best of the best. If the price is right, I don't want to go to an auction. Chen Yifan laughed. The products produced by the system are all high-quality goods, 100% pure, and it seems that the price will not be less. This. If it wasn't here, he really wanted to snatch the water stone regardless of his identity. But Chen Yifan's identity still matters a lot, the champion of the martial arts examination, the high-level attention of Sichuan province, who dares to take this thing for himself. Director Lu scratched his head for a while, not knowing what price to set. Peerless water stone, their trading houses usually seldom even high-quality ones, let alone top-notch ones, and it is also a water stone whose value ranks among the top among evolutionary stones. Sorry to ask Chen Yifan to wait a moment, Director Lu had no choice but to call his boss. Only Master Sun Yuxin can make a decision on this price. After a while, Director Lu came back again. Taking a deep breath, Director Lu smiled at Chen Yifan. Sorry for the long wait, I have reported your situation to our boss, Master Sun Yuxin. The boss said, I can give you this number. Seeing the gesture raised by the good landing director, Chen Yifan frowned. 800,000. No, what about the superb water stone? 1 million is always worth it. You're joking. Supervisor Lu smiled coyly, and said seriously, one price, 8 million. Even the auction house can't easily sell it at this price. And after deducting 10% of the handling fee, it will definitely not be as much as our one-stop price in your hands. Mr. Chen, think about it. Our boss's offer is absolutely sincere. Director Lu's head is a little confused now, this is 8 million. If the boss hadn't said on the phone that he must get it, and even raise the price after 8 million, he couldn't believe it. A small stone is worth 8 million, and it will take him many years to earn it. The young man in front of him, who is not even 20 years old, can earn nearly 10 million every day. It's really people comparing people, and it's maddening to death. Chapter 102. Wait until Chen Yifan comes out from Xingxin trading. People are still in a trance contest condition. He looked up at the door plaque of the trading house. Chen Yifan is deeply aware of the class gap. Look at people. Extraordinary Waterstone, 8 million. Without blinking an eye, the money was credited to the account as soon as he delivered the goods. Chen Yifan clicks on his Pokémon Pokédex and looks at the balance on it. The more you look at it, the more pleasing to the eye. Balance, Alliance coins. Break through the 10 million mark with ease. Among them, more than 1.7 million is the joint money of Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao, and there is also a 2 million scholarship from Zhongyuan University that has not yet arrived. Altogether, he has more than 12 million. Although I always tell myself in my heart what is the tens of millions, the 9 digits and 10 digits in the future are not a problem. But he still called Zhang Miao to come out early. At this time, only his family Meow could calm him down. I'm going out. Manectric, don't follow me. Ah. Manectric lay on the doorway aggrieved, looking at the little master with big eyes. I used to like to play with others, but now I have a new love and forget about the old love. 893 Bad Woman. Since Zhang Miao's relationship with Chen Yifan was exposed, she has become more and more unscrupulous. She doesn't need to hide from her parents anymore. Just like today, when Ningjiawei asked her why she was going out, she said to go on a date. Although Ningjiawei was helpless, she still agreed. Come back early in the evening, Stephanie's family, don't stay out too late, and let your little boyfriend come to the house sometime. Although she knew what Chen Yifan looked like, she hadn't seen it with her own eyes, but she was quite satisfied with Chen Yifan's appearance. In the future, even if they get married and have children, the children born will definitely look good. Oops, where did she think? Ningjiawei shook her head quickly, she would have such strange thoughts sometime. Know it. Zhang Miao rubbed Manectric's towering hair outside the door, and finally went out humming a little song amidst Manectric's wailing. When the two met, before Zhang Miao could speak, Chen Yifan hugged her and hugged her around. Although Zhang Miao didn't know why her boyfriend was so happy today, she was still very happy that her boyfriend was hugging her. The two then went to a high-end restaurant for dinner. Zhang Meow also knew that her boyfriend was not very short of money now, so she became a pendant with peace of mind and listened to Chen Yifan's arrangements. Then I went to look at furniture, home appliances, and so on. With a wave of Zhang Meow's big hand, she almost emptied the furniture in the electrical appliance city, and she didn't consider whether her father's wallet could bear it. Can't let go. In the end, under the advice of Chen Yifan, the furniture and home appliances were assembled at a cost of only nearly 200,000 yuan. In the afternoon, Zhang Meow bouncingly dragged Chen Yifan to Boj Plaza. Welcome to Fia Breeding House. Gu Wei's eyes widened as she spoke, Meow Meow. And Chen Yifan. Haha, Wai Wei, long time no see. Zhang Meow smiled and waved her hands, and followed Chen Yifan into the breeding room. Haven't seen you for a long time. Gu Wei smiled a little stiffly, and couldn't stop sneaking glances at Chen Yifan. This man she thought was a softie. Now he is the hottest supernova in Sichuan province, champion of martial arts exam. At this time, Chen Fiyu in the room also heard the movement, opened the curtain to take a look, and rushed to meet him. Ha ha ha, a rare visitor, Mr. Chen, I haven't seen you for a few days, it's like 3 autumns. Chen Fiyu sighed, he never thought that this kid with a bun LB could become the champion of Wushu in Sichuan province. Fortunately, he thought Zhang Meow was a big client at first, but it turned out that the big client was by his side. You know, his bun LB is all customized food by himself, and he customized Pokémon food for a martial arts test champion. As soon as this advertisement was published, the business of Fia Breeding House, which had been somewhat bleak, has improved in the past few days. Chen Fiyu invited the two of them into the house, leaving Gu Wei eagerly looking forward to seeing the scene inside the house. Pursing her lips, Zhang Meow and she were not from the same world in the past, but now, even Chen Yifan has opened up too much distance from her. This distance made her dare not even look at her. Really, things are different. Indoors, Chen Yifan and Zhang Meow released all Pokémon. Although Zhang Meow has been promoted to a junior trainer, the new Pokémon has not yet been decided, and Zhang Wenbin is also looking for her to see if there is a Pokémon suitable for her. Zhang Wenbin paid a lot for her rare qualified Fennekin. This is from the Yuuzhanjia, unlike the Centauret Chinese cabbage sold by Chen Yifan. For the second Pokémon, Zhang Wenbin definitely doesn't want his daughter to get a poor Pokémon. Regarding this, Chen Yifan's suggestion is to take it easy for now. Anyway, Zhang Meow is not in a hurry now. If he could, he wouldn't mind buying his girlfriend the best Pokémon. It's a pity that he is still a small shrimp now, and he is nothing but a martial arts test champion who can bluff people. Although he has a little savings now, good Pokémon are not something he can buy. Zhang Meow didn't care about this, but asked Chen Yifan to accompany her to the Shimmer Forest on the outskirts of Rongcheng. If she's lucky, she might be able to tame one herself without having to spend money from her father. Chen Yifan did not hesitate after hearing this, and agreed on the spot. He is also very interested in forests. He had no money and planned to go to the trackless forest, looking for wild Pokémon as a training partner. Fortunately, there is a systematic help system. If the group has money, they can invite training. Thanks to the sparring partner, otherwise, his championship would be hard to say. Shimmering Forest is the largest trackless forest in Chengdu and even in Sichuan province. This is an undeveloped area for human beings, a blessed land for wild Pokémon, and a treasure land for many trainers, where countless adventures have occurred. It can be said that it is a place where crises and adventures coexist. Where there are adventures, there are naturally crises. Every year there are trainers attacked by Pokémon, and there are not a few of them. If the strength is not strong enough, it is best not to venture into the forest alone. The place the two of them are going to is the outskirts of the Twilight Forest. The entry threshold for the Twilight Forest is the junior trainer, and it is forbidden for trainee-trainer alliance normal to enter alone. As for the interior of the Twilight Forest, in principle, non-intermediate trainers cannot enter. Of course, if you want to enter, no one will stop you. Chapter 103. The distribution of Pokémon in the forests of Alliance's various regions is also different. For example, in the Icewind Forest in the far north, there are mainly Ice-type Pokémon, and there are also many Grass-type Pokémon, and cold-resistant Flying-type Pokémon will also nest there. But most of them are Pokémon of these 3 attributes. When it comes to the south, it's more complicated, except for the Ice-type Pokémon who don't like warm environments, and the extremely rare Dragon-type Pokémon. Basically there are all kinds of attributes. For example, the Shimmer Forest in Sichuan Province, although it is not ranked among the top 5 forests in Alliance, there are many species, and there are quite a few rare Pokémon. Some people even reported seeing it in the depths of the Shimmer Forest a few years ago. The figure of a quasi-god. Although the news at the time did not report what quasi-god it was enough to cause a sensation. What is quasi-god? As the name suggests, quasi-gods are Pokémon that are second only to mythical beasts. Quasi-god is also synonymous with power. There are only 9 kinds of quasi-god Pokémon in the entire Pokémon world. All of them are the most powerful existence. Dragonite, Benjura, Salamence, Metagross, Garchomp, Hydreigon, Slimy Melon, Komodo, Multi-Dragon Barto. As long as you own one of them, you will be a powerful trainer in the eyes of all. 7 of the 9 quasi-gods are dragon Pokémon. Now you know who to choose for the Pokémon attribute. But God is also fair, the quasi-god is also called a late-blooming Pokémon. Although powerful, it will take longer, even much longer, to evolve to a full body than other Pokémon. Even if it took decades to evolve to a full body, it wouldn't be surprising. On the bright side, it is basically impossible for common people to have a way to buy or obtain quasi-gods, and the most troublesome thing about quasi-gods is not only the purchase price, but also the follow-up resources. If you want to cultivate a perfect quasi-god, you have to pay a huge price. Chen Yifan didn't think that he and Zhang Miao Miao would meet a quasi-god when they went to the forest this time. If they did, they should run away. A complete quasi-god, even if it is wild, even if you let an elite trainer come to him, he will still have a headache. And when you meet a quasi-god's cub, you have to run faster, because it must be accompanied by its parents who are perfect. Iowa. Firefox. As soon as he came out, Yantour stepped on Fennekin and started running around the studio. Fennekin, who was stepped on, was of course dissatisfied and wanted to chase it, but this guy ran so fast that Fennekin walked around the studio for half a day without catching up with it. Chen Feiyu on the side smiled slightly and didn't bother. He had already stopped him from switching to other customers. Don't run around. Chen Yifan grabbed Yantou's ear and lifted it up. The little guy's ears are very soft, just like grabbing a cat's neck, and it doesn't feel any pain. IWA. Yantour looked at Chen Yifan pitifully, and his aggrieved appearance suddenly aroused Zhang Miao Miao's maternal love. Wow! Xiao Chen, it's so cute. Zhang Miao Miao looked at Yantour with wide eyes in surprise, and Yantour also blinked at her, which made her even more fond of holding Yantour in her arms and kneading her constantly. Below her, Fennekin, still alive, looked up at his master. So, love dies, doesn't it? Let Chen Feiyu give the 3 little guys another superlative body care, and customize 10 cycles of Pokémon food. 1 cycle is 10 days, 10 cycles is 3 months. Enough for a long time. Coming down from the busy schedule, Chen Feiyu was exhausted, but he was not in a very good mood. 10 cycles of 3 Pokémon, plus 3 Pokémon's body recuperation, totaled 315,000 Alliance coins. This price can scare the Chen Yifan in the past, but it is still acceptable now. Chen Feiyu gave the 2 of them a 30% discount in the end, and only charged 220,000 yuan. Looking at the figure of Chen Yifan who paid the money and led Zhang Miao Miao away, Gu Wei's expression was a little sad. You spend 20W without blinking, and I spend 20 yuan without blinking. Everyone looks the same. Damn capitalism. The next day, Chen Yifan got up early in the morning and didn't pack any luggage. He simply carried a bag and brought the little ones food. 0. It is impossible for them to stay overnight in the forest, it is too dangerous at night, and they only plan to wander around the periphery of the forest to relax. After saying hello to his mother, Chen Yifan went out. Today is Tuesday, and it has been 4 days since he won the martial arts test championship, although he had expected that his popularity would not last long. But Chen Yifan still didn't expect that the Wuokeo champion would finally be knocked off the hot list by a few big news today. And it was Yang Xingyu's big brother, Chong Xingyuan, who knocked him off the hot list. I don't know if it was for my younger brother to retaliate. At the age of 23, he officially ranked first in the senior trainer list. Although it is not the first time someone at this age has been ranked number 1 on the list, and even trainer was younger than him, but it is enough to show that Yang Xingyuan's talent is powerful. Coupled with the identity of Yang Ting's successor, Yang Xingyuan swiped the entire Sichuan province network in an instant, and even reached the 2nd position on the Alliance hot list. It's just a generation of rookies for the old ones. Chen Yifan is still a little bit lost. Maybe in the near future, people won't remember him as the so-called martial arts test champion. But it doesn't matter, if you can't remember one championship, then you can win another championship. If you can't remember 2 championships, then you can get 3 championships. If he can't remember the 3 champions, he will be the champion. People will always remember him deeply. He firmly believes. There will be that moment. This news did not make Chen Yifan feel that there were any exceptions. After all, he was already number 2 in the 100 battles list, so being number 1 was no big deal. The news that currently occupies the number 1 spot on the Alliance Hot list, in terms of popularity, is many times higher than Yang Xingyuan's. In Borean Forest, someone found Regis sleeping in a cave deep in the forest. This news shocked the entire alliance. Even Chen Yifan couldn't hide his excitement when he saw the photo of Regis lying in the cave taken by someone risking his life. Chapter 104. This is the beast in Legendary. There's no one who isn't interested in Pokémon that only exist in Legendary. But if you're interested, you're interested. Human beings are more in awe of divine beasts. Human beings cannot contend with the power of gods and beasts, not just talk. Regis is also known as the Ice God Pillar. In the legendary records of human beings, this mythical beast survived from the Long Theo era. There is also Legendary, which is the creator of the North and South icebergs. There is also Legendary, which is one of the 3 servants of Regigigas, the god of the earth, because it has the same name as the other 2 pillars, also known as the 3 pillars. But a legendary is just a legendary after all. Human beings have too little understanding of divine beasts. A few hours before the news was released, that is, last night, the Alliance sealed off the entire Icewind Forest, sent a large force to dissuade the trainers who were still exploring in it from coming back. 710 can only go out, not in. No follow-up news has been released. Perhaps the top management of Alliance has already rushed to the scene, or perhaps, big names like the Champion Elite have also rushed to the scene. Chen Yifan didn't know what would happen next. But he knows that this world is not as peaceful as it appears on the surface. But the sky is falling and there is a tall man on the top. Looking at the photo of Regis sleeping on the news, Chen Yifan smiled slightly. A beast. I just don't know, since this system of his can extract Pokémon eggs, can he also think about mythical beasts? Twilight Forest is some distance away from the center of Pokémon, and even farther away from Chen Yifan's home. For convenience, Chen Yifan took a taxi directly to Twilight Forest. There is a station specially arranged by Alliance, and they need to enter the Shimmer Forest from the station. After sitting for nearly an hour and a half by car, Chen Yifan finally arrived. Zhang Miao Miao had been waiting for him there long ago. The 2 of them simply ate something at the post station, and then they were going to the forest. Today's weather is just right, neither hot nor cold, so it's very suitable for traveling. There were quite a lot of trainers staying in the post station, and the 2 of them queued up for a while before they could enter after checking their identities. 2. Pay attention to safety. It is best to stay outside the forest. Don't go deep. There are maps on Pokémon Pokédex. If you encounter danger or can't find the exit, please call our emergency number immediately. The rescue team will respond accordingly. Your location finds yours. After the staff saw their junior trainer certificates, they kindly talked to them. After both of them expressed their understanding, the regiment opened the gate and let them in. Wow! It's so beautiful. Zhang Miao Miao walked around happily as soon as he entered the forest, and Chen Yifan smiled. Slow down, don't fall. It was thanks to Zhang Wenbin that Zhang Miao Miao was able to come out with him this time. Ningjia Y disagreed at first. The forest is so dangerous, what if something happens? Although Chen Yifan is a martial arts test champion, that only means that he has potential, not that he is strong. But in the end, he agreed under Zhang Wenbin's persuasion, because Zhang Wenbin sent a bodyguard to follow him. Manectric. Let's go. Hurry up, Xiao Chen. Riding on Manectric, Zhang Miao Miao was like a wild horse running fast without a rope. Chen Yifan led Du Domang to follow helplessly. Manectric is Zhang Wenbin's main Pokémon, and Zhang Wenbin must be relieved to send it to protect his daughter. Pokémon, Manectric attribute electric system ability, Lightning Rod. Ability is similar to Flash Fire, which can absorb electric attacks. Not only will not be damaged, but the energy will also be increased. It cannot be absorbed if it exceeds the upper limit of strength. Species Strength 475 Qualification, Rare Strength, Elite skills, Quick Attack, Shock Wave, Thunder Wave, Fire Fang, Crunch, Thunder Fang, Charge, Thunderbolt. Note, main trick, the evolution form of Electrice, can release extremely strong electric current from the hair, and the electric current in the air will gather in the mane, and the powerful main trick can create terrifying thunderclouds in its own sky. The forest is so big that you can't see the head at a glance. It is full of lush trees. Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao walked all the way, and many Pokémon appeared, looking at this pair of men and women strangely. Chen Yifan greeted them with a smile, and these little guys ran away in fright. If you want to go to the depths of the forest, according to the speed of Chen Yifan and others, you can't get there without walking for half an hour. The periphery is enough for them to visit for a day. Zhang Miao got off Manectric, and Manectric withdrew his aura, guarding beside his little master like a non-threatening dog. Chen Yifan also has no doubts about the safety of the two of them, although the guy looks at him, it seems that he is not so friendly. Zero look, Xiao Chen. There are so many grass-type Pokémon here. Zhang Miao said something in a low voice, and quietly pushed aside the grass beside her, revealing the family who hadn't noticed any movement inside. Chen Yifan turned his head to look, followed by a smile. It turned out to be the Hoppip family. Hoppip, Skiploom, and Jumpluff. The movements of the two seemed to be noticed by Jumpluff, who looked at Chen Yifan and the big vicious dog beside them in surprise. Bang bang! Jumpluff immediately guarded its two family members behind, watching them with vigilant eyes. If it got any closer, it would launch an attack. Hee, don't be afraid, I'm sorry, I scared you, I'll leave right away. Zhang Miao apologized in embarrassment, quickly restored the grass to its original shape, and raised her head, just in time to bump into Chen Yifan. Oops! Ugh! With a crisp sound, Zhang Miao's head just hit Chen Yifan's chin. Zhang Miao quickly stretched out her hand to rub Chen Yifan's chin, the two looked at each other and smiled. Zhang Miao rubbed against Chen Yifan's arms. Well, Xiao Chen, tell me, are they a happy family? Ah! It should be. Chen Yifan laughed. Pokémon like Hoppip, although not strong at the beginning, are still worth cultivating. A Jumpluff that has evolved to a full body has a species strength of 460, which is already very good. So in the outskirts of this forest, this kind of Pokémon is also quite grabbing. 2.2 hands, especially the Jumpluff, which can evolve to a full body, and its combat power and aptitude must be good. Zhang Miao was also lucky, as she could see this family anywhere in the grass. Chen Yifan also hopes that the family can live in this forest well and not be discovered again. But not all of them are like them. Then tell me. Zhang Miao's face suddenly turned red. Will we become like this, a family of 3? Zhang Miao's voice became smaller and smaller, until she could hardly hear her at last. Chen Yifan was a little amused, and lowered his head to kiss her forehead. Of course I will. The shy Zhang Miao nodded and hummed. Xiao Chen is really bad, just want to be with that. Ah! Seeing this scene, Manectric on the side couldn't help but grinned at Chen Yifan. Super! Fierce! Chapter 105. Dig! Bunelby couldn't stand it any longer, it didn't allow anyone to threaten its master. Manectric's gaze also turned to Bunelby, a cold gleam flashed in his eyes, and he bared his teeth. A little rabbit is not enough for it to fit between its teeth. Just when the two Pokémon were confronting each other, a tender hand suddenly appeared and grabbed Manectric's mane. Ah! A sob was accompanied by Zhang Miao's scolding voice. Manectric! How many times have I told you, don't bully children? Magnificent number. Manectric nodded his head quickly, looking at Zhang Miao with pitiful eyes, looking harmless to humans and animals. Bunelby opened his mouth wide, looking at the imposing Zhang Miao with a look of surprise. He was able to tame this big dog who could put a lot of pressure on him at once. The master's woman is amazing. Chen Yifan at the side couldn't help but smile. Who would have thought that the little woman who looked like a kitten just now would become a little tiger again? Only Zhang Miao at this time is the most real Zhang Miao. A group of 4 continued to wander in the forest. Everything was very novel to them. Chen Yifan looked at the markers on the map and tried to keep their itinerary away from the depths of the forest. Although I saw a lot of Pokémon along the way, Zhang Miao didn't have much interest in conquering them. Here, if you want to meet a Pokémon with rare qualification or above, your luck is no less than winning the first prize in the lottery machine. It's not worth wasting precious Pokémon spots on these common Pokémon. Zhang Miao was a little tired from walking, so she rode on Manectric again. Manectric was very energetic, and he became more energetic when he was carrying the little master. Chen Yifan looked at the two of them, the master and the pet, and couldn't help being a little envious. He lowered his head and glanced at his Bunelby, and then thought of his Yantour. Shaking his head, to be honest, he also really wants a Pokémon that he can only ride. It would be great to go for a ride like that. The further they went, the denser the surrounding trees became, and the two of them had reached a place where there were fewer people outside the forest, and even the passers-by who they could bump into occasionally were no longer seen. Take a break. Chen Yifan is also a little tired. It will be noon, and the sun will appear again, but fortunately there are trees to cover it, otherwise, few people would be in the mood to hang out in the sun day. Okay, I'm hungry. Zhang Meow Meow agreed, and took down the big bag hanging from Manectric's upturned tail. This was the lunch for the two of them, and her mother specially made it for them. The two found a big thick tree, Manectric whined, and drove away the two beedrills resting on the tree, letting his little master rest. Here, Chen Yifan couldn't help but give Manectric a thumbs up. In the wild, all dangers come so suddenly. Manectric obviously has a lot of experience in wild survival, and he is always vigilant. Even if there are two wild beedrills, there is no threat to him, and he will drive them away. Absolute safety is guaranteed. This is the essence of elite trainer. Chen Yifan said with emotion. Zhang Meow Meow hummed a ditty, and took out the bento for the two of them from the bag. The bento box has the function of heat preservation, and it was still hot. Hee, Xiao Chen, my mother prepared this for you. Zhang Meow Meow smiled and handed the bento box to Chen Yifan. Wow, what a beauty! Humph, of course. Zhang Meow Meow raised her small face, wrinkled her small nose, and was very happy. This kind of leaning on the person she likes, and eating the bento made by her mother together, is simply too comfortable. While eating, the two also released their Pokémon so as not to let Yantour out. Fan was still afraid that the little guy would run around and it would be hard to find if he got lost. This will eat with Bunelby watching, so it shouldn't be a problem. The three little guys began to enjoy their delicious lunch, and the big guy on the other side also came over under Zhang Meow Meow's call. Manectric. Come. Ah. Zhang Meow Meow took out a small cube-shaped crystal from her bag and threw it at Manectric. Manectric opened his mouth and swallowed the crystal in one gulp, showing a satisfied smile. This is Manectric's favorite electric system energy cube, which contains abundant electric system energy. Only one is needed. Not only can make Manectric do not need to eat for a day, but also replenish Manectric's energy zone. The price is extremely high. One piece is equivalent to Chen Feiyu customizing a cycle of food for Bunelby. Of course, now Chen Yifan can afford it too. However, this kind of energy cube is too concentrated, so as to avoid their strength is not easy to digest. At least one must reach the strength of an intermediate trainer before making plans in this regard. By the way, Meow Meow, Zhang Uncle is majoring in the electrical department. Chen Yifan glanced at Manectric and asked suddenly. As for the trainer's major direction, for normal, most of the Pokémon used by the trainer at the beginning are relatively complicated, that is, the attributes are not uniform, but when it comes to the advanced trainer level, it is necessary to consider the next path. There are also those who practice miscellaneously all the way to the end, and some who only use 2 or 3 attributes, and some who use one attribute to the end, such as the gym masters of various departments. They will only use the Pokémon that is the same as the attribute they represent. Like Elite, there are also attribute majors. Whatever attribute you major in is what Elite is. Of course, it does not mean that Elite only has that kind of attribute Pokémon. The representative of the miscellaneous training class is the champion. The Pokémon of the champion are mostly changeable and will not be unified into one attribute. Ah! Zhang Meow Meow pondered for a while, then nodded and shook her head under Chen Yifan's gaze. It seems to be. He stuck out his tongue, I don't know. Chen Yifan was almost laughed to death by this little girl, and he didn't even know what his father majored in. 257 Papa's Pokémon don't appear at home very often, they are all kept in special breeders, and they will be sent over when they need to fight. I've only seen his Pangoro and the Mosquito Warrior. Manectric is not as cute. And Manectric doesn't really fight with Dad, it always follows me. I think Dad should belong to the kind with multiple attributes. Zhang Meow Meow nodded and said, well, it must be. Chen Yifan nodded, expressing his understanding. He was just interested in asking. He didn't expect that Manectric was not Zhang Wenbin's main force. which was a bit unexpected. As for his own future, Chen Yifan actually didn't think about it well, so let's just take it one step at a time. He is still too weak now, and there is no need to even consider majoring in it. The two were eating, and Chen Yifan suddenly realized that something was wrong. How can it be so quiet? Looking at the three little guys eating Pokémon food, Chen Yifan smiled. They were all eating seriously, but then Chen Yifan realized something was wrong, and the smile quickly disappeared. Yantour, who was supposed to be next to Bunelby, has disappeared. Bunelby, whoa! Kugu! Bunelby raised his head, with a puzzled look on his face. Isn't this guy next to him? Bunelby turned his head to look, and then his eyes widened. Dugu. Chapter 106. Chen Yifan frowned. Yantuer's food was gone, but they were all here. And Manectric is there too. It is impossible to be abducted by other Pokémon. There is only one possibility. This little guy sneaked away by himself. Chen Yifan gritted his teeth. He knew that with this little guy's temperament, he would definitely not eat there obediently. He was careless just now, and he kept chatting with Zhang Meow Meow without noticing that the little guy ran away secretly. Xiao Chen, don't worry, Manectric, help me find it. Yantuer will definitely not go too far. Zhang Meow Meow comforted quickly. Manectric nodded, closed his eyes, and kept moving his nose, looking for the smell of Yantour. It's okay, I'm not in a hurry, I can find it. Chen Yifan took out Yantour's Ultra Ball. The Ultra Ball has a built-in Pokémon navigation function. As long as the Pokémon is not beyond the navigation range of the Pokeball, you can find it. Fortunately, according to the route of the navigation, Yantour, it seems that they are not far away. No, it seems to be getting closer. Chen Yifan narrowed his eyes, and the dot showing Yantuer's position was getting faster and faster, and was about to approach him. Little guy, are you running away? Oh! At this moment, Manectric's eyes became serious, his limbs moved, and he came to Zhang Meow Meow's side, looking at the woods on the side vigilantly. Iowa! A few seconds later, a scream came from not far away. Chen Yifan could only hear an exclamation, and then saw a white figure slipping into his arms. It's Yantour. Holding the panicked little guy, Chen Yifan picked it up angrily. You're so disobedient, who told you to run around? Before he could finish speaking, there were rustling sounds in the woods, and white figures jumped down from the trees. Looking at these round creatures, Chen Yifan's pupil shrank. It's too bad. It's the Mankey group. There are about 20 or 30 Mankeys, the leader of which is Primeape, with bulging veins on his forehead. Rage looks at Yantour and Chen Yifan and his group. Pucha! Primeape clenched his fists tightly, and looked at Yantour with bared teeth and claws. His behavior was very irritable. Although Pokémon such as Mankey and Primeape often attack humans, in normal situations, if you hide from it, it will not come to you. Chen Yifan was a little puzzled as to how Yantour would provoke this group of guys. Only then did he notice that the little guy was still holding something in his hand and was eating it non-stop. Mankey's favorite delicacy, Nana berry. It turned out that Chen Yifan was a little bit dumbfounded. This guy Yantour actually robbed people of their food. It's still a tree fruit. Although the main function of this tree fruit is as a material for making energy cubes, it is also a valuable tree fruit, and it is rarely eaten in Primeape. No wonder you are so angry. Seeing that his Nana berry was being slowly wiped out by Yantour, Primeape couldn't sit still, and was about to take a step forward with the monkey group. It finally found Nana berry, and before it had time to pick it, Yantour got there first. How could it not be angry? It's angry, with serious consequences. A low growl suddenly stopped their movements. I saw Manectric standing in front of Chen Yifan. Although he doesn't like this man, its duty is to protect the little master and protect the smile of the little master. If this human being is hurt, the little master will also be unhappy. That's it, Manectric, FK me. Zhang Meow Meow on the side didn't feel Astonish's appearance at all, instead cheered on the side, and hugged Yantour from Chen Yifan's hand. Xiao Chen, don't bully it, he is still young. You wa. Yantour also nodded, and the Nana berry in his hand was also wiped out by it. But then, it was startled by Chen Yifan's dark face, and pouted. Yantour still lowered his head. Do you know what's wrong? You wa. Yantour nodded. Do you want to run around again next time? Chen Yifan asked again. You wa, IWA. Yantour was about to nod, but then realized something was wrong and shook his head quickly. Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao Miao were somewhat amused by Yan Tuer, and rubbed Yan Tuer's little head vigorously. They couldn't help but admire Zhang Wenbin's wise move. With Manectric, at least safety is guaranteed. Pucha. On the other side, Primeape was not frightened by Manectric's actions, turned his head to look at his companion, and moved his head. At this time, a monkey rushed out from the group of monkeys and rushed towards Manectric. I'm going to explore the way ahead. Primeape wants to try. Manectric has a few caddies and a few tails. Seeing Mankey rushing towards him, Manectric's eyes instantly turned ferocious, looking even more fierce than Primeape. The hair on his body sparkled, and in the next second, Manectric opened his mouth wide, and shot out a gold wave. Shock wave. Zilla. With a bang, the rushing Mankey was hit in the air by the shock wave, and under the burnt yellow spark, Mankey kept trembling. With a plop, Mankey, who had turned into a scorched black, fell to the ground. His body was still shaking from the terrifying thunder shock, but he had already lost consciousness. Seeing this, the Mankey group behind Primeape couldn't help but change Rage's expression. He glanced at Manectric in fear, and took a step back involuntarily. The berries that were robbed belonged to their boss, not theirs. This guy is so fierce, they don't want to be like the guy lying on the ground. Pucha. Primeape's eyes were red with anger. Rage turned around and glanced at his little brothers, then turned his head and rushed towards Manectric. White light flashed on the fist, Manectric shot out a shock wave again, and the shock wave hit Primeape's body. Primeape's entire body was wrapped in lightning. But to everyone's surprise, Manectric's shock wave not only did not stop Primeape's action, but made it even more manic. Rage. Endless rage rages inside Primeape. Shocking away shock wave's attack, Primeape rushed towards Manectric. The white light on his fist changed from white to red, the red light flickered, and the super rage skill was condensing. Zhang Miao Miao didn't watch the play nearby at this time, and walked to Manectric's side. Rather than saying that Manectric is Zhang Wenbin's Pokémon, it is more appropriate to say that it is Zhang Miao Miao's Pokémon. This guy is so fierce, Manectric, show this guy a bit of power, good Li Zhao. Ow! Manectric also walked towards Primeape lunge. This Primeape has the strength of a high-level trainer, and it can be said to be a master in the periphery of the Shimmer Forest. But in front of Manectric, it's not enough to see. Following Manectric's lunge, Primeape only felt a strong force coming, his body staggered and fell down, and the fist that was shining red hadn't hit Manectric's body. Song felt a stabbing pain that made him dizzy. Manectric bit down on Primeape, sparks gleaming on his sharp teeth. Thunder Fang. Pucha. Primeape screamed in pain, his body trembling constantly. Manectric flicked his head, and Primeape flew out. At the same time, a yellow light flashed in his mouth, and he shot an arc-shaped thunder shock again to hit the flying Primeape. Boom! With a loud bang, Primeape slammed into a big tree on the opposite side, and the terrifying force made the big tree bent down. Primeape was hanging from the tree, his body fell backwards, and he lost his ability to fight. Chapter 107. The scene was extremely silent for a while, even the sound of bug buzz in the forest was silent. But Chen Yifan can still hear the sound of swallowing saliva from the Mankey group. Ah! Manectric bared his teeth at the Mankey group again, and the Mankey group screamed and ran away in a panic. At the same time, two of them didn't forget to bring their eldest, climbed up the treetops, and dragged the unconscious Primeape to the forest. Manectric didn't go after them anymore, although it could use Thunderbolt to kill all these guys, but it didn't have to. Nature has its rules, and it is not good to kill innocent people indiscriminately. Just a little deterrence is enough. If there is a massacre, the Alliance will not allow it. Great job, Manectric. Suddenly a gentle voice sounded in Manectric's ear, and his little hands kept rubbing his head, making him close his eyes comfortably. Ah! The majestic Manectric fell to the ground all of a sudden, wagging his tail like a puppy waiting to be stroked by his master. Chen Yifan on the side smiled when he saw this. The movement of the Manectric battle just now really gave him a lot of inspiration. This is the strength of the elite level, too strong, too strong. And Manectric should be just a warm-up, after all, this Primeape is nothing to it. Looking at his 860 Pokémon, Chen Yifan wondered when his Pokémon would be as powerful as Manectric. Surely not too far, right, Bunelby and Yantuer? Thinking about it, Chen Yifan pinched Yantuer's ears, making the little guy turn around and start wrapping around Chen Yifan's body for a hug. After the episode, the two continued to set off with the Pokémon. Yantuer was closely watched by Bunelby at this time, and he didn't dare to run around anymore. Yantuer followed behind Chen Yifan, and behind him was the big brother Bunelby, who was looking at him seriously with his hips crossed. The two stopped along the way, and came to a river. At this time, there were many people gathered around, all of whom came to try their luck or play in Shimmer Forest. People saw the two and the Pokémon around them, especially the presence of Manectric, which made people stay away from them subconsciously. Obviously not to be trifled with, that Manectric looks aggressive. The two didn't care. Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao Miao found a vacant seat, and sat down with Zhang Miao Miao by the river. Looking at the crystal clear river, there are many small fish swimming in it, and occasionally some Pokémon living in the water appear, which makes Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao Miao feel better looking at the Magikarp swimming in the river. This is the most common Pokémon in the water system Pokémon, but few people will tame a Magikarp. Zhang Miao Miao leaned against Chen Yifan, and couldn't help muttering, "Xiao Chen, why is it so difficult for Magikarp to evolve? If it wasn't too hard to evolve, I'd want a Magikarp." Chen Yifan was taken aback for a moment, then smiled, "What? You like Gyarados?" Zhang Miao Miao smiled and nodded her head, "Yes, look how handsome Gyarados is, fierce and handsome, and also very strong. When we go to the beach, we can sit on it and go sailing. How convenient." Seeing Xianizi's longing look, Chen Yifan couldn't help but gently touched her little face. He didn't expect Zhang Miao Miao to like Pokémon like Gyarados. Indeed, although there are a large number of Pokémon like Magikarp, the evolution rate is the lowest among all Pokémon. It is extremely difficult to evolve, and it is known as the carp leaping over the Dragon's Gate. That is to say, if Magikarp wants to evolve, he must go through difficulties like leaping over the Dragon's Gate. There may be only one Magikarp in a million that can evolve. The transformed Magikarp is also the weakest Pokémon among all Pokémon. It is called a weak pair, because Magikarp has no combat power at all, and because of this, almost no one wants to subdue it. Even if you want to gamble on luck to see if you can subdue a Magikarp with good qualifications, but spending 1000 alliance coins on a Pokeball for this is not worth it at all, just like finding a needle in a haystack normal. It is scrapped, it has no effect, and money is lost in vain, and nothing is gained. As for why not just buy the evolved Gyarados, Daff? If he dares to sell, do you dare to buy? But nature is fair, and it is because of their weakness that they have become stronger after evolution. The same goes for the other two Pokémon of the same name as Magikarp, Phoebus and Wimpod. The three evolved Pokémon are all leaders in their respective fields. Especially Gyarados, which symbolizes violence and ferocity, although there is no dragon attribute, it is more violent than many dragon Pokémon. Their current situation seems to be the same as Chen Yifan's before, they are all looking for the direction of evolution. Chen Yifan asked himself, if there is no systematic help, can he really jump out of the Dragon Gate like those very few Magikarp? He can't guarantee it, but Chen Yifan can be sure now that he is no longer as confused as they are now. He already has his own direction and is slowly working towards this direction. Chen Yifan was full of thoughts for a while, and when he saw Magikarp, he seemed to think of his former self, struggling for the opportunity to rush to the Dragon Gate. Wow! Xiao Chen, look! Zhang Miao Miao's exclamation made Chen Yifan turn his head to look. Chen Yifan was taken aback, and saw the direction Zhang Miao Miao was pointing at. It was a crystal blue crystal, which gave him a very familiar feeling. Chen Yifan narrowed his eyes, water stone. Things such as evolutionary stones mainly appear in places that contain the same energy, such as in the sea, in streams next to rivers, or even on the beach, where it is possible to see water stone. The corresponding fire stone may appear in places with high temperature, especially near the mouth of volcano, where the fire stone is most abundant. But few people dare to go there for treasure hunting. Bunelby hopped his legs, jumped down to the side of the river, and took out the water stone and laid on the rock next to the river. Hey, I'm amazing! Zhang Miao Miao giggled, and waited until Dujamian brought the water stone over. Zhang Miao Miao looked at it, and then looked disappointed. Ah, it's just a defective product. This water stone has a lot of impurities in it at a glance. You don't need to test it to know that this is the most inferior water stone. It is completely different from the masterpiece Chen Yifan sold yesterday. That's not bad, okay, and it's worth a lot of money. Chen Yifan comforted with a smile, water stone is a bestseller, so there is no need to worry about not being able to sell it. Even if it is a defective product, it can be sold for thousands of dollars. For many people, it has been lucky to find this thing. Zhang Meow Meow nodded, and suddenly, the sound of fierce fighting next to them attracted the attention of the two of them. The two turned their heads to look, and it turned out that the trainer they met by chance was fighting. This happens from time to time. The forest is not like the city, as long as it is not wanton destruction, otherwise the alliance will not care whether you are right or not. This is a natural playing field. Chen Yifan narrowed his eyes. It seemed that the strength of both sides was not weak. Rockruff and Little York. Doghook fight. Chapter 108. The one who used Rockruff was a chubby young man, probably 2 or 3 years older than Chen Yifan and the others. Rockruff's strength is quite strong, and it can be seen that it is much stronger than rivals Little York. York was so weak that he couldn't even fight back. Rock Tomb and Bite's attack directly overwhelmed Xiao Uk. With a whimper, Little York lost the ability to fight on the spot. Good. The applause sounded from all around, and the audience who were paying attention to the battle did not hesitate to applaud themselves. The little fat man smiled, clasped his hands together, and quickly nodded his thanks to the surrounding audience. Then he squatted down and touched Rockruff's head. Rockruff was very happy and kept shaking his tail. It seemed that the battle just now was just a warm-up, and rival fell down without showing any strength. The little fat man stood up, looked at the tourists around him, clasped his fists, and shouted loudly, Lei Dong, a lower intermediate trainer. I'm a junior at Sichuan University. I'm training with my Pokémon here today. No one wants to fight with me. The Pokémon I sent is this Rockruff. There is no stake or anything. It's all about interest. Is there any brother or sister who will come to play a game? Of course, if there is a senior trainer who is willing to enlighten me, I will dare to follow. The sound was loud and loud, causing people around to whisper. Although I thought it was very interesting, but no one stood up for a while. Everyone came to play. Who has the time to fight with you? And what to do if Pokémon is injured? Lose face if you lose, and no reward if you win. It was a thankless task. Zhang Meow Meow and Chen Yifan on the side were also talking. Zhang Meow Meow touched Chen Yifan. Xiao Chen, this guy is crazy. Do you want to kill his spirit? Zhang Meow Meow puffed up her face, urging Chen Yifan to throw it away. Well, you want to see me lose face, don't you? Chen Yifan couldn't help smiling, and pinched Xiaonazai's nose. That's not it, my little Chen is so powerful, there's nothing a puppy can't beat. Zhang Meow Meow blinked at him with a taunt look on her face. She just wanted to watch Chen Yifan fight, and finally a guy who looked very powerful appeared, and she definitely couldn't let it go. On the other side, Lei Dong saw that no one paid attention to him for a long time, and his interest faded. He managed to get an appointment with Little York just now. Now it seems that it is better to find wild Pokémon or something, and practice it yourself. Lei Dong picked up Rockruff and was about to leave. Wait a moment. Suddenly someone stopped him. Lei Dong looked over in surprise and was slightly taken aback. It was naturally the man next to the beautiful girl sitting by the river. But it doesn't matter, as long as there is a battle. Lei Dong was very pleasantly surprised. Do you want to fight with me? Chen Yifan smiled. Yes, but I'm just a junior trainer, so it's okay. Hearing that he was a junior trainer, Lei Dong felt a little disappointed, but he still didn't show it, and said with a smile, of course it's no problem. So, your Pokémon is? Chen Yifan smiled, and waved to Yan Feng'er who was playing rough with Dudumian by the river. Iowa. Yan Tuer ran over on short legs, looking at Rockruff with a very imposing face. Wow! Rockruff shook tail whip at it. Yan Tuer turned his head to look at the tuft of hair on his buttocks, but he couldn't shake it, so he shook his ears at Rockruff. Iowa. Yan Tuer. Lei Dong was a little dumbfounded. Although Yan Tuer is rare and strong, his Rockruff is of the rock type. You fight me with a fire type Pokémon, and you are still a beginner trainer. Did you make a mistake, brother? Are you sure? Lei Dong hesitated. He was not afraid that Rockruff would lose, but mainly because he was afraid that Rockruff would hit too hard and hurt the little rabbit. Well, don't worry, just follow the normal battle. In fact, I don't want to fight, mainly because my girlfriend wants to watch. As he spoke, Chen Yifan pointed helplessly at Zhang Meow Meow, who was leaning on Manectric and smiling at them across the street. Lei Dong glanced at Chen Yifan enviously, and couldn't help but whispered, brother is so lucky. After finishing speaking, he let out a dry cough. Okay, Then come on, it's agreed, if I get seriously injured, I won't pay for it. Although he is an intermediate trainer, he is also a poor man. To train his own Pokémon, he has to find ways to make money. He doesn't have much savings to heal others. Chen Yifan nodded, and Lei Dong slowly backed away, leaving a wide enough battlefield for the two Pokémon. Brother, what's your name? Chen Yifan. Chen Yifan, okay, I remember you. Please also remember that the person who is about to defeat you is called Lei Dong. There was a smile on Lei Dong's face. He has a militant temperament, so no matter where he goes, he will find someone to fight against, and this place is no exception. Although he is only a junior trainer, he doesn't dislike him either. Ask for flowers. The people around gathered around, watching the battle that was about to start. Finally, at this time someone recognized Chen Yifan. Hey! Isn't this the champion of the martial arts test? When you say that, it seems a bit familiar. It's called Chen Yifan? That's right, the champion of the test is Chen Yi, that's right. Chen Yifan looked this way. 3 or 2 voices suddenly made the surroundings become noisy. Maybe Chen Yifan's name is not clear to these people, but the martial arts test champion must know it. Lei Dong frowned, and looked at Chen Yifan in surprise. You are the champion of this year's Little Ho-Oh Cup? The Chen Yifan who defeated the Yang family. He didn't even think about it just now, but he remembered it after being reminded by the people around him. Zero. Although he has never seen what Chen Yifan looks like, he still knows the news, the champion of the martial arts exam. Lei Dong's face suddenly became very serious, although he was only a trainee. Oh no, they are all junior trainers now, so that should not be underestimated. Although he is a few years older than Chen Yifan, those who can win the martial arts test are all monsters. He deeply understands this point. Back then, he didn't even make it to the main match, but Chen Yifan actually won the championship. The corner of Chen Yifan's mouth raised slightly, neither admitting nor denying, moving his legs. Yantuer's little expression that was sticking to his legs immediately became serious. Take a few steps forward. Bring it on. Okay. Lei Dong's face turned serious, and Rockruff also took a few steps forward with great momentum. Blue's pupils were fixed on Yantuer, showing a super fierce expression. Pokémon, Rockruff attribute, Rock series ability, motivation, the body is full of energy, will not give up easily, and will not fall asleep in battle, immune sleep contest condition, species strength 280 qualification, rare strength, good level, intermediate trainer level, skills, tackle, leer, rock throw, bite, rock tomb. Note, Rockruff has the perseverance to fight against the enemy at any time even if he is hurt. Facing rival who is stronger than himself, he will persist in fighting until the end so that rival loses his willpower and wins. He has a very excellent sense of smell. I will forget the smell I once smelled. After I heard that I was separated from trainer, with just a little smell, even after running for many days, I will still reunite with trainer. Chapter 109. The two Pokémon on the field looked at each other, as if they were on the verge of breaking out. All waiting for rival to strike first. However, the reason why Chen Yifan chose to fight Lei Dong was because he wanted to test his Yantuer's strength. Yantuer, if they don't fight, we will come first. Iowa. Yantuer nodded, red light flashed on the soles of his feet, and immediately after, his body boiled, and flames engulfed its entire body. Flame charge. Yantuer, whose body was covered in flames, rushed towards Rockruff. The speed was so fast that Rockruff didn't even have time to react. He was directly taken down by Yantuer, and the flames spread to his body. Rockruff was knocked into the air, and his whole limbs fell heavily on the ground. Burned by the flames, he resisted the pain and didn't dare to cry out. The audience was silent, and Lei Dong's eyes widened, looking at Chen Yifan and Yantuer in disbelief. His Rockruff was from the Rock 303 series. How is it possible, a fire rabbit, a Pokémon of a primary trainer, can actually hurt Rockruff to this extent? Lei Dong gritted his teeth. If he lost at this time, it would be a real embarrassment. Rockruff. Rock tomb. Wow. Rockruff got up from the ground, shook his body, and extinguished the remaining flames. His eyes flashed fiercely, and he looked at Yantuer fiercely. The cocky light on his body flickered, and he slammed a stomping tantrum towards the ground. Boom! As Yantuer's feet trembled, 4 rocks rushed out from the ground, and they were in the 4 directions of Yantuer. They wanted to merge instantly and beat Yanto by surprise. But what everyone didn't expect was that just a second before Rock rushed out, Yanto suddenly did a backflip and retreated backwards, dodging Rock Tomb's attack at an extremely fast speed. Boom! Under the collision of Rock, he smashed into the air. Chen Yifan smiled slightly. Yanto is not a fledgling Pokémon. Using the experience EXP share, the battle experience is not weak at all. Wang! Rockruff and Lei Dong's expressions tightened at the same time, and Lei Dong gritted his teeth. Rock throw! Woof! Rockruff slapped the ground continuously with his forelegs, and small stones fell from the sky, hitting Yanto directly. Agility! Iowa! After receiving Chen Yifan's order, Yanto body glowed with a faint white light, and his running speed became faster and faster, running back and forth in the area designated by the two of them. The speed is getting faster and faster, and the speed of agility's increase has directly increased the speed that Yanner can withstand with this strength to the limit. The rock throw attack completely missed Yanto figure, and all hit the ground. Lei Dong and Rockruff were a little dumbfounded. How should they fight? When the dog wants to rush over to fight Yanto for a close combat, but Yanto almost dazzles his eyes, not to mention whether its speed can catch up with other people's questions. There were exclamations from all around. Everyone was surprised by Yanto's performance. Although you are the champion of the martial arts test, the person opposite you is also an intermediate trainer. Respect others, even if others touch you. Besides, shouldn't the restrained Pokémon belong to Yanto? Seeing this, Zhang Meow Meow, who was not far away, also opened her mouth in surprise. Others don't know, but she knows, this little guy is only 2 days old. It's actually that strong. Xiao Chen is really amazing. She didn't think about other things at all, she just looked at her man with admiring eyes, and the more she looked at her, the more beautiful she felt. Sure enough, her little Chen is the best. Yanto's body, running back and forth on the field, became hotter and hotter, because the fire organ in its body was gradually activated. Warm-up is complete. It's time to vent. Chen Yifan seemed to sense the thoughts from Yanto, and his eyes froze. Come on, let me see your full strength. Chen Yifan murmured in a low voice. Yuwa. Yanto's small face also followed suit. The movement of running stopped. Lei Dong's eyes lit up, thinking that Yanto was tired from running. Now, Rockruff, let's go. Use the bite attack. Wow. Rockruff also realized that this was a good opportunity, moved his limbs, and rushed towards Yanto. With a soft sound, looking at the rushing Rockruff, Yanto's eyes flashed red, and at some point, it raised its short but extremely powerful calf. Under the red light, the rectangular fleshy ball on the sole of the foot suddenly burst into extremely intense flames, causing its entire sole of the foot to be entangled in raging flames. The surrounding temperature seemed to be rising, and Rockruff, who rushed over, could only widen his eyes, unable to withdraw his actions at all. At the next moment it is about to pounce. Boom! Yanto turned around abruptly, and kicked Rockruff's body with a crisp sound. Even Chen Yifan seemed to be able to hear the sound of bones breaking. This voice is not from Yanto, but from Rockruff. Zero blaze kick. Boom! There was an explosion-like sound, and Rockruff flew upside down at a faster speed than when he came, and slammed into the ground, standing upside down on the field, with his entire head buried in the soil. Everyone opened their mouths wide, including Lei Dong, who also stood on the field. Seeing that his Rockruff was motionless, Lei Dong ran over in a hurry and pulled the Rockruff out of the soil. Looking at Rockruff, who has fainted, and the clear footprints on his body kicked by Yanto. It still feels hot to the touch. Lei Dong swallowed his saliva. This is a monster. Is this the champion of the martial arts test? A junior trainer, beating him is like playing. Seeing the end of the battle, Yanto grabbed onto Chen Yifan's trouser leg again, asking Chen Yifan to hug him. Chen Yifan couldn't help but pick up this little guy who was completely different from the previous battle. I couldn't help but have a lot of emotion in my heart. At this time, he finally realized what it means to be strong, what it means to be invincible. In the previous Bunelby, he still had to find ways to find rivals' flaws and so on, but now, not to mention the Bunelby that has undergone a great transformation, even the Yanto, there is no need to make these plans. It's that simple to drop 10 meetings with one force. It's okay. Chen Yifan walked over with Yanto in his arms. Dong fed the recovery energy cube into Rockruff's mouth at this time. He felt a little distressed. One was for Rockruff, and the other was for the energy of 1.9 cubes. This is so expensive and expensive. Up. Seeing Chen Yifan approaching, Dong smiled wryly, "Brother Chen, you are so strong. The champion of the martial arts test is well deserved." He was completely convinced, and if he was killed, he would never fight with such martial arts champions again. It was simply suffering and torture. Obviously it seems that Pokémon is not as good as myself, but it seems to be better than my own Pokémon in every aspect. He didn't even have the strength to fight back, so he was a little suspicious, whether it was Rockruff who restrained Yantu or Yantu restrained Rockruff. Chen Yifan smiled, seeing that Rockruff had already recovered. He didn't say anything else. Anyway, Dong had already said it at the beginning, and he took care of his injuries. The people around also recovered from their astonishment at this time. They were either holding Pokémon Pokédex and snapping at Chen Yifan, or they were trying to ask Chen Yifan for an autograph or something. There are no worthless people under the prestigious name, and the ancients did not deceive me. Chapter 110. Wait until Chen Yifan returns to Zhang Miao's side. Zhang Miao, who likes Xiao Chen the most, naturally won't be stingy with her praise, so she slips Yantu out, and occupies Xiao Chen's arms by herself, making the little rabbit who was thrown out begin to doubt her life. Who is the child after all? It is so big that it still pesters the owner to hug. But the anger was nothing but anger. The little rabbit could only stand by the river and sulk, and got better under the comfort of the big brother Bunelby. So the two little rabbits patted their ears and happily played games by the river, and a little fox curled up beside him was soundly asleep, unmoved by the outside world. A harmonious and beautiful scene. The way Manectric looked at Chen Yifan and Yantu on the side also changed. Although it is still very weak for it, it is enough to prove that the strength of Chen Yifan and Yantu can be called the top at this age. Manectric turned his head and looked at the soaring in the sky, which was already overcast, making the sky look darker. Manectric's brows were tightly frowned, and his powerful strength gave him a strong sense of danger. It always feels like the mood is suddenly a little restless. And looking at the sky, it seems that it is going to rain. Hey! A low growl made the two of them look over, seeming to understand what Manectric meant. They exchanged a glance. Chen Yifan looked at the Pokémon Pokédex time. It was 4:30 in the afternoon. Let's go, it looks like it's going to rain today, and it's getting late, we should go back. Zhang Miao pouted, but still nodded, and couldn't help complaining, well, didn't the weather forecast say that it won't rain today? What a disappointment, horrible weather. As he spoke, he pointed at soaring in the sky viciously. This ghostly weather disturbed his time alone with Xiao Chen. It's really disgusting. Bang! Ah! A deafening thunderclap startled Zhang Miao, who had just pointed at soaring in the sky, and hurriedly hugged Chen Yifan who was beside her. After being comforted by him, Zhang Miao looked up with some lingering fear. Xiao Chen, it can't hear me. Looking at the little girl who was cautiously in his arms, Chen Yifan couldn't help laughing, and deliberately teased her, yeah, I must have heard you scolding it just now, so it's thunder. Zhang Miao pouted, it wasn't intentional, who made it rain? Chen Yifan smiled, grabbed her and prepared to go to the exit of the forest, and then the two of them put the three little guys away, and they had to go on their way at this time, and they could no longer wander around like they came in. Otherwise, it will be bad if it rains heavily. Ha ha ha. At this moment, it began to rain heavily on the soaring in the sky. Zhang Miao quickly took out 2 umbrellas from her bag. She was planning to use them as parasols to see if the sun was getting hot, but they just happened to be used as umbrellas. Chen Yifan praised Xianizhi, which made Xianizhi's eyes smile. The two walked towards the exit under umbrellas. Manectric, who is not afraid of the rain, followed closely. The raindrops fell on its body, but it didn't seem to make its hair wet, and even its towering mane was still standing. Not affected in the slightest. The rain was getting heavier and heavier, and there were fewer and fewer pedestrians along the way. Chen Yifan looked over, and there was a sign standing directly in front of him, which said the words "Dangerous ahead." This is the intersection of forest onlookers and depths. It is also a place to remind trainers who are not strong enough not to go deep. However, the two of them were not going to go in. Their direction was to the right, which was the only way to go to the exit. The two of them had to walk at least half an hour away from the exit, and it seemed that they had to hold an umbrella for a while. While thinking like this, Zhang Miao suddenly tugged at him. Xiao Chen, look at that. Chen Yifan turned his head to look in the direction Zhang Miao pointed, his eyes narrowed. Although the sky is getting darker and darker now, you can vaguely see a Pokémon lying under the tree in the shade over there, its body shaking constantly, and its breathing is a little short. Careful. Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao looked at each other, and they decided to take a look. There seems to be no one around here, probably not some trainer's Pokémon. The two took a closer look, and Manectric followed behind, looking around vigilantly. Zhang Miao couldn't help covering her mouth in surprise, her eyes full of unbearable look. Chen Yifan also looked at the Pokémon lying on the ground in disbelief. After taking a closer look, I realized that the Pokémon in front of me was actually a rarer Pokémon than Yuuzhanjia. Super Pokémon, Kurla. An ultra-rare Pokémon that can evolve into the powerful Ultra Queen Gardevoir or the Ultra Warrior Gallade. Surprise is nothing but surprise, but at this time Kurla's condition is not very good, the messy little white dress is stained with blood, not only her legs, but also her body has deep scars. Chiru. Kurla's injuries were so severe that even Kurla, who was extremely vigilant against humans, did not run away. She could only look up at Zhang Miao and Chen Yifan, her eyes full of stubbornness and uneasiness. Although Zhang Miao has a hot personality, she has always been kind-hearted, and she can't see Pokémon like this at all, and this is Kurla who was so beautiful and lovely. Who on earth hurt Kurla like this? Xiao Chen, can we save it? Zhang Miao put the umbrella in her hand on Kurla to prevent the rain from infecting Kurla's wound again. She and Chen Yifan put together a total of 480 umbrellas. Chen Yifan frowned, carefully looking at the wounds on Kurla's body. It seemed that they were not bitten by some kind of creature, but wounds caused by energy. It shouldn't be made by humans. Also, there is absolutely no Pokémon like Kurla on the outskirts of the forest. Chen Yifan stared intently. Did this Kurla come out from the depths? The enemy that hurt it is also from the depths of the forest? I didn't bring any medicine to treat my injuries, did you? Chen Yifan shook his head. After all, it was his first time going out, and he was just planning to go for a walk in the forest with Zhang Miao, but he didn't expect that this thing. Moreover, Kurla's injuries were too serious, even the energy cubes probably wouldn't have much effect, at least she had to go to a station outside the forest to receive deeper treatment. Zhang Miao also shook her head, and she didn't bring anything to treat her injuries. Just when he was thinking about whether to take Kurla back to the post station for treatment, suddenly, Manectric let out a hasty roar, which startled the two of them, and quickly took a few steps back. Chiru. Kurla, who was about to faint from the pain, also raised her head and looked forward, with a little fear and hatred in her eyes. The next second, the ground suddenly shook, and immediately after that, an unknown creature rushed out of the ground. Chapter 111. Because the sky was too dark at this time, before Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao could see what was coming, Manectric went up to meet it. Shockwave collided with a ray of black light. Boom! There was a loud noise, and the collision of two energy attacks caused an explosion. Kurla, who was at the center of the battle between Manectric and the unknown creature, could not move at all, and could only stare wide-eyed at the stones knocked away by the explosion. At the critical moment, Chen Yifan rushed over suddenly, picked up Kurla, and quickly walked away from the center of the battlefield. He even tripped over the ground soaked in heavy rain and almost didn't fall to the ground. Killu. Kurla looked at the human hugging her tightly with complicated eyes. Xiao Chen. Zhang Miao didn't care about being drenched in the rain at this time, and ran over quickly, wanting to take Kurla from Chen Yifan. The blood on Kurla's body and the falling rain dyed his white shirt red. Chen Yifan waved his hands again and again. Umbrella. Oh! Zhang Miao quickly stopped the umbrella. At this time, the battlefield of Manectric was still shining with golden light and dark light, but Chen Yifan couldn't care less about it now. Feeling the body temperature from Kurla's body, as the heavy rain and the injury intensified, Chen Yifan could feel that Kurla's situation was very bad. Chen Yifan looked at Kurla's increasingly gloomy eyes in his arms, and frowned all of a sudden. No, it's too late, I'll just hug her, maybe. If possible, Manectric can carry it to the station in time. B. He turned his eyes to the battlefield of Manectric again, and the gold lightning from Manectric fell down, making the dark forest suddenly light up. Through the bright light, finally the unknown creature was revealed. Chen Yifan's pupil shrank. B. Under the bright light, a huge grey and dark keystone was exposed. Above the keystone was a gaseous mysterious object, which contained a large green pattern of Arnold block. There is a kind of creepy feeling. Zhang Meow also saw the shape of the unknown creature, and was so frightened that she quickly grabbed Chen Yifan beside her. Chen Yifan gritted his teeth, never expecting to encounter such an ominous thing. What a disaster! The evil spirit, Spiritomb. Legendary was imprisoned in the keystone by the sage imprisoned because of his many evil deeds. It is a very evil Pokémon. No one knows whether it was imprisoned's Pokémon or not. But what we can know is that this kind of Pokémon is extremely evil, and common people cannot easily meet it, ranging from having nightmares at night to being deprived of energy. It is also one of the most dangerous Pokémon in the wild and no man's land. However, because the number is extremely rare, few people can encounter it. Chen Yifan never expected that they would encounter such a thing. Looking at Kurla in his arms, he thought that Kurla was injured by this guy. As a ghost type and evil type Spiritomb, he especially likes to absorb Kurla, a Pokémon that is weak in resistance but strong in psychic. Kurla's energy is delicious for it. Manectric. Thunderbolt, dot. Ah, bang. There was an explosion on the ground, Manectric's body glowed with golden light, and a thick arc of lightning struck Spiritomb. Although the electric system did not restrain the ghost system, since ancient times, there has been a saying of Rake Wangzi. Seeing Thunderbolt's attack, Spiritomb didn't dare to take it hard, turned into a phantom, and a dark beam of light rushed towards Thunderbolt. Dark shadow. Black and gold energies collided in sky. Chen Yifan squinted his eyes. No way. Although Manectric's strength seems to be not much different from Spiritomb, but in a short time, it is absolutely impossible to get rid of this guy. What to do? Kurla is dying. Touching Kurla's increasingly cold face, Zhang Meow also bit her lips tightly, looking at Kurla anxiously. She didn't want to see Kurla die like this. Kilu. Kurla, whose consciousness was getting more and more blurred, suddenly raised her hand, and gently touched Chen Yifan's chest with her small hand. On her blood-stained face, she suddenly smiled at him. At the same time, he looked at Zhang Meow and smiled at her. Chirrut. Kurla shook her head, signaling for the two to leave it alone, as it had no more energy left. Run, this Spiritomb, it's strong. Kurla. Zhang Meow couldn't help but shed tears, and looked at Chen Yifan begging for help. Xiao Chen, can we help it? I don't want to watch it die. Don't worry, Kurla, just hold on for a while. There must be a way. Although it was raining heavily and the temperature dropped rapidly, the sweat on Chen Yifan's forehead still burst out involuntarily. What should I do? There are enemies entangled Manectric here before, and Kurla is seriously injured and dying. But any individual would not just watch Kurla die in vain. Should I call the rescue team? But when the rescue team arrived, Kurla might not be able to hold on after a while. Chen Yifan became short of breath, and suddenly glanced at Zhang Meow next to him. His eyes lit up. Meow Meow. Meow Meow, have you brought your Pokeball, empty Pokeball? By the way, at this time, if Kurla is subdued, wouldn't it be able to delay its injury? This is the biggest role of Pokeball. Although it can't heal Kurla's injury, at least it won't let its injury continue to deteriorate. It can be delayed for a second, as long as Manectric can defeat Spiritomb in a short time. Take Kurla's Pokeball to the station, then Kurla will be saved. With Alliance's current medical level, as long as Pokémon doesn't die on the spot, Kurla can definitely be rescued. Even if the medical expenses are high, it's definitely worth it. Yes. I have it. Upon hearing Chen Yifan's words, Zhang Meow also hurriedly turned around and rummaged through the already soaked bag on the ground. She didn't expect to be able to subdue Pokémon in the forest, but don't forget that the two ownerless Great Balls awarded by the small Ho-Oh Cup were still in her bag. At this time, Zhang Meow was extremely thankful that she didn't sell or throw away the Great Ball that she thought was useless. Found it. Taking out the Great Ball, Zhang Meow was very pleasantly surprised. Chen Yifan looked down at Kurla. He no longer had a Pokémon quota, but Zhang Meow did, and he could still tame a Pokémon. Kurla, I'm sorry, we didn't take advantage of others' danger, we just wanted to save you, can you accept being subdued by us? Chen Yifan took a breath. If you don't want to follow us when you recover from your injuries, it's okay, we will release you. This is what the two of them are thinking. Although Kurla is very precious, but they are not so shameless to take advantage of others' danger. They, just trying to save it. Chapter 112. Kilu. Kurla looked at the two with her remaining consciousness, her body was slightly startled, and her big eyes looked at Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao Miao. Suddenly she pursed her lips and smiled happily, and tapped lightly. Nod, Chiru. Seeing that Kurla agreed, the two looked happy, and Zhang Miao Miao quickly opened the Pokeball's subdue button. The Pokeball flashed red, wrapping Kurla's body inside, and soon, Kurla entered the Pokeball. Because the Kurla contest condition at this time was really bad, the Pokeball lighted up slightly and made a soft sound, successfully subduing it. Zhang Miao Miao didn't feel the joy of subduing Pokémon at all at this time, and the two of them only had time to pay attention to the battlefield. How is it possible? Zhang Miao Miao's pupil shrank, and Chen Yifan's expression also changed. I saw that the place where Manectric and Spiritomb were fighting had been continuously blasted with quite a few potholes. Manectric was beaten back again and again, and was sent flying out by the aftermath of a dark pulse from Spiritomb, and fell heavily on the rainy ground. Manectric quickly got up from the ground and stood up again. Blue's fur was turned outwards, and fresh Red's blood kept dripping down. Its injuries are much heavier than those of Spiritomb. There is also a gap between the elite classes. The strength of this Spiritomb is very strong among the elite classes. Manectric is not its rival. Manectric's eyes were red. At this time, it cannot be defeated, nor can it show a little bit of decline. The little master is still behind it. If it loses all 407, then what awaits Chen Yifan and the others will be a real disaster. Without any hesitation, Chen Yifan quickly pressed the SOS button on the Pokémon Pokédex. It is not close to the post station. Even if the rescue team arrives, it will take about 10 minutes. I only hope that Manectric can survive this time. They didn't think about running. If they ran at this time, Manectric would definitely lose faster, and with the evil spirit of Spiritomb, Manectric would definitely be dead. And if Spiritomb catches up, there is really no way to go to heaven and no way to go down to earth. Manectric, come on. The rescue team will be here soon. Ow! Manectric growled, and rushed towards Spiritomb again. The pressure brought by Spiritomb made both of them sweat in their vests. Chen Yifan gritted his teeth. If the ability of this Spiritomb is correct, it should be a sense of oppression. This ability has given them a lot of pressure. But at this time, they must withstand the pressure, and they must do something while waiting for rescue. At least Manectric can be dragged until the rescue team arrives. Iowa. Dudu. Firefox. At this time, both Pokémon appeared on the field at the same time. Flame Bunny, Fennekin, Ember support Manectric. Bunnelby, Mudshot. Following, Edge, Chen Yifan's order, the long-range attacks that the three Pokémon can use hit Spiritomb. Sensing the coming of the three attacks, Manectric jumped high, allowing the three attacks to hit Spiritomb who was attacking Manectric. Spiritomb paused, and was hit by three tickle-like attacks, which made it very unhappy. But it was this meal that gave Manectric a chance. Jumping in midair, Manectric's body glowed with dazzling gold light, and a thunderbolt shot towards Spiritomb. Zilla. Spiritomb hit Thunderbolt's attack, and the keystone maintaining his body trembled in spark. Manectric's eyes lit up, and he rushed towards the flower monster again. But at this moment, with the continuous contraction of the fluid above the Spiritomb keystone, Thunderbolt's attack dissipated instantly, shooting out a dark light, and the shadow ball attacked. Manectric opened his mouth wide, sparkling spark. Crunch was attacked by the shadow ball in one gulp, but the attack was blocked, and Manectric turned back and fell back to the ground. Manectric, who had a sore mouth, bared his teeth. But although the attacks of the three little ones did not bring much help to the battle situation, but at least it can give Spiritomb a little distraction. Tow until the rescue team arrives, that's enough. In this way, the situation on the field has been maintained for nearly 5 or 6 minutes. The three little ones have lost much strength. Yantur and Fennekin, not to mention Ember, can't even spit out the little flames. Bunnelby is desperately trying to puff up his stomach to shoot mud, but his physical strength is also exhausted. And Manectric's movement on the field gradually slowed down, and Chen Yifan in the distance could hear Manectric's panting. It was too tired. Spiritomb's fluid is also a lot dimmer, but it's in much better condition than Manectric. Just as the two were anxious about why the rescue team hadn't arrived yet. Seeing that Spiritomb's attack was about to fall on Manectric again, Zhang Miao Miao couldn't help shouting, "Manectric! Spiritom's movements suddenly stopped, as if it was frightened by Zhang Miao's voice. The Spiritom paused and suddenly became a little anxious. At this time, it seemed that it could no longer take care of the manectric. It retreated quickly, followed the big hole it drilled just now, and disappeared from the sight of the two of them. Middle. No choice but to panic. Normal, there seems to be some fatal crisis. Manectric was taken aback, but the pain from his body made him grit his teeth. Even he didn't know why this guy ran away suddenly. Manectric senses the surroundings. There seems to be nothing. Because of their fighting, the surrounding Pokémon have already run far away. The turning point also stunned Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao. What happened? Spiritomb ran away. The two looked at each other, both puzzled. But both of them have the pleasure of surviving after a catastrophe. Just run away, maybe the rescue team is coming soon, and Spiritomb ran away because of fear. Manectric staggered over, and Zhang Miao looked at Manectric's injuries, which were blood-stained, not much better than Kurla's injuries, but compared to Kurla, Manectric's endurance was much stronger. Zhang Miao's eyes turned red, and the tears couldn't stop streaming down. She squatted down and hugged her partner who had grown up with her tightly. She grew up with her since she was a child, from Electric when she was a child to Manectric now, she has never seen Manectric suffer such a serious injury. Woo! Manectric, thank you. Oh! Manectric gently rubbed against Zhang Miao, not realizing that he was fine. Chen Yifan helped Zhang Miao who was squatting on the ground, looked at Manectric gratefully, and then smiled, okay, since that guy has already run away, let's go to the exit quickly, hurry up at this time, Manectric both Kurla's injuries are serious. N. Zhang Miao nodded repeatedly with red eyes, and hurriedly walked towards the exit with Chen Yifan. Manectric followed behind with some difficulty. One of its legs was injured by Spiritomb just now, so it was difficult to move, but there is a problem not big. Still able to hold on. Bang! At this moment, soaring in the sky exploded, and a bolt of lightning flashed across the sky. Chen Yifan looked at the weather, the rain continued to expand, the umbrella was thrown on the ground by Zhang Miao just now, anyway, it has been raining a lot, it is not bad for a while. Boom boom. 1. Chen Yifan stopped suddenly, carefully feeling the shock on the soles of his feet. Meow, did you hear the voice? What? Zhang Miao turned around and asked in confusion. Boom. The vibration from the ground became more and more intense, and the sound became louder and louder. Chen Yifan's pupils shrank sharply, as if something was gradually approaching them. Close, very close. All the hairs on Manectric's body exploded in an instant. No, it sensed a fatal crisis. Manectric was about to let out a roar that told them to run, but then he opened and closed his mouth but couldn't speak, his eyes looked to the other side in despair. That's too late. Roar. A low roar filled with endless anger resounded in the audience. Chapter 113. Boom. With a loud noise, a thick tree in front of everyone was interrupted by the waste, and half of the tree flew out at once, revealing the complete appearance of the creature. Under the armor-like green shell is a fierce face, just like the ancient dinosaur Normal, whose sharp teeth can make one's scalp tingle at a glance. This is... Zhang Miao's eyes widened, and she almost forgot even her fear. Quasi-god, Banjara. Chen Yifan swallowed, looking at the giant beast with red eyes, feeling terrible in his heart. Obviously, this guy doesn't seem to be in a good mood at this meeting. Manectric gritted his teeth and walked in front of the two, looked up at this Pokémon exuding a terrifying aura, and at a glance, it didn't have much courage to be an enemy. But, it cannot be returned. It is to protect them. Then. Banjara didn't even look at Manectric, her head turned as if she was looking for something. The nose moved suddenly, and Banjara's eyes flashed fiercely. It senses that these guys in front of them have the smell of Spiritomb on them. Sure enough, it's a gang. Banjara roared, and looked down at the crowd, the fierceness in his eyes was about to come out. Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao felt the great pressure, they gritted their teeth and wanted to move their bodies, but they were horrified to find that they couldn't move. Just relying on their momentum, they couldn't move. A look of disbelief flashed in Chen Yifan's eyes, just how strong this guy is. Pokémon Banjara attribute, rock type and evil type ability, sand blowing, you can freely control the weather, let the field blow sandstorms, the degree of sandstorms depends on the strength of Pokémon, species strength 600 qualification, Legendary Strength, Gymnasium Level, Quasi-Elite, Skills, Stone Edge, Dark Pulse, Crunch, Earthquake, Destruction Death Ray. Note: the evolution of Banjara and Pupitar is also one of the perfect bodies of the Quasi-God. It is called the Desert Tyrant. It has extremely terrifying power and a body that is not afraid of any attack. It can smash mountains and rocks with one hand. A power that can easily change the surrounding terrain. He doesn't care about the surrounding situation at all. Although his personality is arrogant, he will not bully the weak, but if he is provoked, he will be desperate and launch a fatal attack on anyone. Rongcheng, the backyard of the explosive flame gym. You want Xiao to go your way, I have no objection, but you also have to respect the child's opinion, and you can't do it like before. Yes. Teacher is right. In the backyard, Niu Tianli, a master trainer and also Niu Junhao's father, was standing aside respectfully, listening to Yang Ting's words there. At this moment, Yang Ting's Pokémon Pokédex suddenly sounded, and he picked up the Pokémon Pokédex to have a look. Yang Ting frowned. Teacher, what's the matter? Yang Ting shook his head. Nothing, just a disobedient guy came out, I need to go and see. Niu Tianli nodded half understood, and before he could speak, he saw Yang Ting take out the Pokeball, a red light flashed, and a sturdy Charizard appeared in the backyard. I'll go there. Yang Ting only left a word, then rode on Charizard's back, and disappeared from Niu Tianli's sight as Charizard flapped its wings. Niu Tianli gave a wry smile. At such an advanced age, he was still the same as before. He was in a hurry, he was really an old man who refused to accept his old age. And the other side? Ah! Manectric yelled at Banjara, trying to make Banjara retreat, but at this time Banjara's anger was already on his head. Although I don't like to bully the weak, but who let these guys mess with it? All because of that spiritum. Banjara originally lived in the deepest part of the Twilight Forest, which is the real center of the Twilight Forest, and has always lived in peace with the foreign trainers and the Pokémon in the depths. Because as long as the trainer is close to the place where it lives, Pokémon Pokédex will issue a warning. It is a restricted area set up by the Alliance. Even the most daring trainer, not many dare to enter, and Pokémon will probably hide away when they smell its smell. So Banjara's life has never been disturbed, but until today. A nasty spiritum, taking advantage of its inattention, attacked its habitat, and its cub, Larvitar, almost died. Banjara followed the scent and chased him all the way. Spiritum also encountered a Kurla on the way to escape, and tried to kill Kurla, but was escaped by the teleport that Kurla used all his strength. The power of the teleport made Kurla go to the outskirts of the forest, under the shade of the tree that Chen Yifan and the others saw. Due to the loss of a little strength and serious injuries, Kurla couldn't continue to escape at all. 0 for flowers 0 so Spiritum chased to the outskirts of the forest. Just in time, Chen Yifan and the others appeared, and this battle took place. The Spiritum just now ran away in a panic when it sensed Banjara's arrival. Really face the Benjala, it's going to be torn apart by this guy. But now, Chen Yifan and the others, especially Manectric, have the smell of Spiritum on them, so they are regarded as an accomplice of Spiritum by the envious Banjara. None will be spared. Huge pressure invaded the bodies of the two of them. Zhang Miao's body trembled, and his face showed an abnormal red, which made Chen Yifan very anxious. 0 seeing that the negotiation was ineffective, Manectric endured the pain and rushed to Banjara, but was slapped and flew away by Banjara. Manectric fell heavily on the ground. Banjara's strength was too great, and he almost broke Manectric's body, and almost passed away. But at this time, Manectric really didn't have any strength. He tried to stand up, but fell down quickly. Banjara looked at them with red eyes, since he couldn't find Spiritum. Then take it out on its accomplices. Chen Yifan's face gradually turned pale under the tremendous pressure. A fatal crisis is just around the corner. How on earth should he get out of this predicament? Even if the rescue team comes now, let's suffer together with them. The heavy rain was still falling, and the thunder still did not stop. With the gold particles gradually condensing in Banjara's mouth, it was a doomsday scene. Gold particles gradually condense into shape, destroying all the guys in front of them first, and then go to Spiritum to settle accounts. Banjara thought so. Class. Chen Yifan's eyes also turned red, he didn't know where the strength came from, and suddenly hugged Zhang Miao beside him tightly in his arms, and moved forward. Who can come and save them, if not? Then let him die in front. Boom! With the thunder of soaring in the sky, the golden light in Banjara's mouth condensed into shape, and a beam of gold particle-like light shot out. With an aura of absolute destruction, he rushed towards Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao Miao. Ultimate skill, Destroy Death Ray. 0. Chapter 114. Feeling the threat of death, Chen Yifan hugged Zhang Miao Miao tightly. There was a wry smile on the corner of his mouth. Perhaps, being able to die together was also a kind of happiness. Mainatrix's eyes widened, and he wanted to rush over, but his body could no longer move, and he could only watch the scene with bloodshot eyes. The speed of the dead light was extremely fast, and it came behind the two of them in the blink of an eye, and Chen Yifan seemed to be able to feel that scorching energy. After the hit, there should be no pain at all. Thinking of this, Chen Yifan tightly closed his eyes. But right now, in an instant, a barrier of 7 colors of light lit up on Chen Yifan's back, and the energy of the destructive death light charged, and all of it merged into the 7-colored barrier. Banjara's body shook, and he looked around in surprise. Then, the whole forest began to rustle. Under the July 13th heavy rain, a gentle breeze blew. Chen Yifan was wondering why the pressure on his body suddenly disappeared before the destruction and death light hit. Zhang Miao Miao also opened her eyes, and the disappearance of the pressure allowed her to recover from the dizziness. The two turned their heads to look, only to see the dazzling 7-colored glow under the gloomy sky. Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao Miao's eyes gradually widened, watching the light approaching gradually. Woo! With a soft sound, the light slowly fell to the ground, and when the light dissipated, a blue holy beast of water appeared. The streamers on the body are fluttering in the wind, and the headgear like sapphire shows its light and heroic appearance. Avatar of the North Wind, Suicune. Only Pokémon recorded in Legendary, few people have encountered. Banjara's red eyes narrowed. It doesn't know whether it is water or not. It is its enemy who dares to stand in front of it. Class! There was another shout. Banjara's destructive death light didn't stop at all this time, and the destructive death light, which was much more ferocious than before, shot towards Suicune again. A blue light flashed on Suicune's forehead. Before the attack that destroyed the death light hit him, it dissipated like particles. Banjara was stunned for a moment, and then rushed over with an angry shout. Suicune's eyes lit up again. Banjara's body paused, her red eyes gradually returned to their original appearance, and the anger accumulated in her heart disappeared instantly. Banjara stood there, blinked her big eyes, and looked around with some doubts, as if she didn't know why she appeared here. Suicune didn't care about it anymore, turned his head to look at the two people who were stunned, and nodded slightly to them. Xiao Chen, am I dreaming? Zhang Miao Miao murmured. I don't know, I think I might be dreaming too. Chen Yifan shook his head numbly. Luck came, anything can happen, Kurla, Spiritum, Banjara, and Suicune. I was met by them today. Mythical beast, Suicune. To actually save them, this is the real survival after disaster. Ding! Congratulations to the host for meeting a Pokémon in Legendary for the first time. The system hereby presents a first encounter gift bag, which has been put into the system backpack and can be checked at any time. Chen Yifan's body was a little weak, he didn't care about gift bags and the like, he was not in the mood, no matter how strong his body was, after being under the heavy pressure of Banjara just now, it made him a little weak. Suicune. Thank you so much, you can save us, thank you very much. Chen Yifan said gratefully. Suicune shook his head, did not speak, and then cast his eyes on Manectric who fell to the ground. Manectric was slapped badly by Banjara's slap. He was already dying of serious injuries. If he didn't receive treatment, he would soon be like Kurla. Suicune opened his mouth slightly, and a stream of extremely clear water hit Manectric. In the water flow, Manectric felt that he was surrounded by a warm feeling. This feeling is so comfortable. After a few seconds, all the injuries on Manectric's body were healed, and there was no trace of injury at all. Manectric stood up, knelt down on the ground energetically, and thanked Suicune repeatedly. Thank you, Master Suicune. Seeing this scene, Zhang Miao Miao also hurriedly thanked Suicune. Although it was unbelievable how powerful the beast was, Chen Yifan still remembered something important, and quickly touched Zhang Miao Miao. Under Chen Yifan's guidance, Zhang Miao Miao quickly took out Kurla's Pokeball. Master Suicune, can you please heal it too? Zhang Miao Miao looked at Suicune beseechingly, and released Kurla from the Pokeball. The Kurla who was released was lying on the ground, Her breath was much weaker than that of Manectric just now, her eyes were tightly closed, and the wound on her body gradually deteriorated, no longer bleeding, but festering instead. Suikun's eyes moved slightly. This girl was seriously injured. Even if it was it would take a lot of effort to save it. But who makes Suikun the most benevolent beast? It is its duty to protect the weak. Another stream of water hit Kurla, but this time it was not as simple as Manectric. Kurla wrapped in the water floated into the air, and Suikun's head moved with Kurla, and the sapphire on his forehead kept flickering. Compared with Manectric's trauma, Kurla's injury is more important because of the depletion of psychic in the body, which is used to avoid the teleport of Spiritomb, and the erosion of Spiritomb's energy let Kurla's drain everything, the kind that really doesn't have a drop left. If the psychic of a superpower Pokémon is exhausted, it means that the Pokémon loses the psychic forever. Even if it is saved, there is no possibility of growth. What Suikun has to do is not only to restore Kurla, but also to reappear psychic, who has dried Kurla. Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao didn't know this at all, they just watched Suikun's movements, everything was so chic and natural. So handsome. Chiru. After a while, Kurla, who was floating in the air 1.0, woke up and was surprised to find her current situation. Suikun nodded slightly, and lowered it from the air. Kurla stood on the ground, feeling her body. It seemed that it had returned to its previous appearance. Kilu. Kurla narrowed her eyes slightly, showing a happy smile, facing Suikun, raised her skirt, bent her calf slightly, and made the most solemn gesture of gratitude among their clan to Suikun. Great, Kurla. Zhang Miao also smiled happily when she saw that Kurla had returned to her original state. She looked at Chen Yifan, and Zhang Miao hugged her little Chen tightly. Just now, she thought that she was going to be separated from Xiao Chen forever. Chen Yifan gently stroked Zhang Miao's little head. This time, Xiao Nazai must have been frightened, and it was really hard for her. Chapter 115. Chirud. At this moment, Kurla also came over, and also did what she did just now to the two of them. Seeing Kurla's appearance, the two smiled sincerely. Congratulations, Kurla. Kilu. Kurla smiled and spun around in joy, her white pleated skirt fluttering in the wind. Woo. With a long and distant sound, Suikun looked up at the sky, and the next second, the wandering stopped due to the rain. The dark clouds gradually dissipated, and the sun gradually emerged at dusk. Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao looked up, and the sun was shining on their faces. This is it raining or not? As the sun appeared, Suikun moved his body, jumped onto the top of a tree, and then disappeared from everyone's sight. Thank you, Suikun. I will remember you. Zhang Miao made a trumpet shape with her hands and shouted into the forest. Chen Yifan also had a smile in his eyes, looking at the direction Suikun was going away. ZKE. This life-saving grace will surely be repaid in the coming day. Although he may not be able to help Suikun, but this kindness, he will definitely remember it. And Banjara also left with the navy, who has quietly run away at some point, perhaps returning to his lair, or embarking on the journey of chasing Spiritomb again. Chen Yifan squinted his eyes. No matter what, he would never try a second time if he felt like a mermaid this time. When he becomes stronger, he will come to this Banjara. When the time comes, they will do it again. Oh. Manectric also came over at this time. Its injuries were completely healed by Suikun, it is now in its heyday, and it even has a breakthrough in normal, its strength seems to be stronger. When you meet Spiritomb again, although you may still be defeated, you won't be beaten so badly. The rescue team hadn't arrived yet. Although it had only been more than 10 minutes, it seemed as long as a century. The two decided to go to the exit first, maybe the rescue team will find them soon, and they are walking in that direction, and they can be faster. Let's go. Manectric. As soon as Zhang Miao said the words, she realized that she forgot one thing. Looking at Kurla standing aside, Zhang Miao felt a little bit reluctant, but she still squatted down and touched Kurla's head. I'm sorry, Kurla, I almost forgot. I'll release you now, you can go home with peace of mind. As she spoke, she took out Kurla's pokeball from her pocket, and before she could press the release button, a small hand suddenly stopped her. Kurla. Zhang Miao looked at Kurla in a daze, feeling a little at a loss. Kilo. Kurla smiled at Zhang Miao and shook her head. Chen Yifan on the side quickly touched Zhang Miao. Why are you still in a daze? Kurla said that it will follow you and won't go home. Ah. Zhang Miao Miao blinked her big eyes, looked at Kurla in disbelief, and said in a trembling tone, "Really, really? Kurla, are you really willing to follow me?" Kilu. Kurla nodded with a smile, and suddenly reached out to hug Zhang Miao Miao. In this way, under the afterglow of the sun, Zhang Miao Miao and Kurla reached an eternal agreement. "We will be together forever. Welcome to join, Kurla." Chen Yifan didn't have time to join in until the two excited girls let go of their arms. Kurla stretched out her little hand and shook Chen Yifan happily. Its attitude towards Chen Yifan was also extremely intimate. After all, the first person to save it was also Chen Yifan. Beep. Roar. At this moment, two Pokémon suddenly appeared in the sky of the two of them, hovering, and then slowly landed towards them. "Hey! Are you asking for help?" At this time, a vigorous shout came from Bai Diao's back. Although it was still far away, it could be heard very clearly. Although the danger has passed, Chen Yifan also waved to soaring in the sky, "Yes. It's us." Bai Diao and Charizard landed, and when the people on the back of the two Pokémon came down, Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao Miao were taken aback. The man on Bai Diao's back was a middle-aged man. "That's too familiar. The owner of the explosive flame gem, Yang Ting. Well, are you all right? Something happened?" Bai Diao's trainer Tang Mingzhi said eagerly. He is the captain of the Shimmer Forest Rescue Team. Because of the sudden heavy rain, many tourists were also stranded in the forest. Their rescue team was busy evacuating tourists. But after receiving the emergency signal more than 10 minutes ago, he hurriedly set Bai Diao to come, but because Yang Lao joined in the middle, it was a little delayed. But it's nothing, with the speed of Bai Diao and Charizard, it should have been there soon. As a result, when he was still in the middle of the journey, he suddenly couldn't find the location where the call for help was sent. The signal was cut off, so he and Yang Ting had no choice but to search in the sky. In addition, it was raining heavily again, which made things worse. After finally waiting for the rain to stop and the signal to recover, they finally found the person calling for help, but now it seems that there is no need for them to go out to 637. Yang Ting was holding the Pokémon Pokédex in his hand, looking at the position of Banjira above. It seemed that this guy had come out for a while and was going back to his lair again. And the location where it appears is exactly here. What the hell is going on? How did Banjira suddenly leave its lair? But under normal circumstances, that guy should not attack humans, and Yang Ting didn't doubt that Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao Miao would be attacked by Banjira. If it is really received, it is likely to be a pile of residue now and see. Yang Ting frowned and looked at the two people who were asking for help. Zhang Miao Miao and Chen Yifan were in a panic at this time. The rain and mud made their clothes and pants dirty to death. In addition, his hair was all wet, so Yang Ting didn't recognize who it was at all. "My lord, it's me, I'm Chen Yifan." Chen Yifan straightened his hair, exposing one eye covered by his hair. "Grandpa of the owner, I am Zhang Miao Miao, and Zhang Wenbin is my father." Zhang Miao Miao also straightened her long hair that covered her face. Yang Ting was startled, and the corner of his mouth twitched slightly. "Why are you two?" Of course he recognized Chen Yifan. It had only been less than a week, and his memory was not that bad, and he also recognized Zhang Miao Miao. Zhang Wenbin was quite respected by him. Chapter 116. Seeing that they were the two little guys he was familiar with, Yang Ting didn't bother to ask any more questions. He was very impressed with Chen Yifan, and felt that this kid was very capable, and he might become a great talent in the future. Patting Chen Yifan on the shoulder, Yang Ting said, "Let's talk about it when we go back. Come up first. It's good if people are free. Let's go back first." As he spoke, he looked at Tang Mingzhi beside him, and Tang Mingzhi nodded quickly. With the help of the two, Zhang Miao Miao hugged Kurla and sat on Charizard's back. Chen Yifan took Manectric onto Bai Diao. Since Zhang Miao Miao didn't have Manectric's Pokeball, Bai Diao could only let Bai Diao carry Manectric. Two flying Pokémon sit on two people and one Pokémon, which is barely enough. If there is one more person, it may not work. When a few people arrived at the station, under Yang Ting's arrangement, Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao Miao took a scald bath comfortably at the station, changed into clean clothes, and felt refreshed all of a sudden. When the two came out of their respective changing rooms, they saw Yang Ting and Tang Mingzhi sitting and chatting. "My lord." Chen Yifan walked over with Zhang Miao Miao. Yang Ting turned to look at the two, nodded and smiled. "Is it better now?" Much better, thank you, master, for your concern. Yang Ting smiled and waved his hands. Come on, tell me what happened. Chen Yifan and Zhang Miao glanced at each other. They had already discussed earlier that they would not tell Yang Ting about Suicune. They also don't know what Alliance's attitude is towards these Pokémon in Legendary, and Suicune is their savior, and they can't repay their kindness with revenge. So Chen Yifan told the truth about the encounter with Spiritomb, and made up the hatred between Spiritomb and Bandura, and he didn't expect that he was wrong. That's right, Grandpa of the owner, it's a good thing my father's Manectric is here, otherwise we would be in danger, and Manectric also suffered a lot of injuries. Fortunately I have a lot of recovery energy cubes, otherwise we would have seen not to you. Zhang Miao said emphatically, coupled with her pitiful little expression, it was hard to believe. Yang Ting nodded seriously, he didn't doubt that Chen Yifan and the others could talk, and he didn't even think about going up to the beast. He just didn't expect that there would be Spiritomb in Shimmer Forest. This is a bit dangerous. This kind of thing is a great threat to Pokémon and humans in the forest. Unlike other Pokémon of the Ghost series, there are good and evil, and they will not be easily revealed to humans. Spiritomb randomly finds a lucky viewer if the attack continued like this, although Chen Yifan and the others hid today, they might not be able to dodge the next time they meet. He remembered that Bandura had cubs. If he guessed correctly, Spiritomb should be the cub that attacked Bandura, and that guy would search for it all over the forest. If the cub was killed by Spiritomb, Bandura would definitely go berserk, and Yang Ting didn't want to confront Bandura if it wasn't necessary. Therefore, this unstable factor must be eradicated. Yang Ting pondered for a moment, nodded slowly and said, that's fine, as long as you are safe and sound, don't come to Shimmer Forest in the near future. He decided to send a team to search for Spiritomb in recent days, and he must find out this kind of Pokémon and destroy it. And he will personally sit in the forest, and his Pokémon will also search. He doesn't believe it, such a big alliance, he can't find a Spiritomb. Okay. The two looked at each other, and answered in unison. Zhang Miao showed a sly smile, Chen Yifan immediately glared at her, Zhang Miao's smile was instantly restrained, yes, the owner of the museum must not see the flaws. Yang Ting gave the two of them a weird look, thinking it was the way young couples get along. He laughed and said, okay, if you have nothing to do, go home early, I must be scared today. The two nodded again and again. Yang Ting looked at Chen Yifan again, with a smile on his face. Chen Yifan, as I said, I will pay attention to you. I hope to hear good news about you soon. Chen Yifan's complexion tightened, he nodded and said with a smile, I will work hard, thank you owner. Well, let's go. Yang Ting waved his hand. When the two of them left the gate of the inn, Zhang Miao stood at the intersection and looked at the passing cars, as if in a lifetime. Xiao Chen. Tell me, is this just a dream for us? Thinking of today's dreamlike journey, the crisis between life and death, she felt a little dazed when she thought about it. If it was a common Stephanie, maybe it would have collapsed, but who is she? She is Zhang Miao. Chen Yifan smiled and squeezed her little hand, look at Gerla, you will know if it is a dream. Humph. When talking about Gerla, Zhang Miao couldn't stop the joy in her eyes. When she gets home, she must show Gerla to her father. Of course, the process of subduing must not be said of. Dad still looked down on her when she said that she was going to the forest to conquer Pokémon. This time, she must scare her dad to see if he dares to look down on her. Thinking of this, Zhang Miao couldn't help but look at Chen Yifan who was standing beside him waiting for the bus. His face blushed slightly, and he muttered, Xiao Chen. The mosquito-like voice was heard by Chen Yifan, who turned to look at her in doubt, what's the matter? Zhang, Zhao, Miao coughed dryly and turned her face to the other side. She remembered that when she was scared by Bandura, Xiao Chen seemed to hug her tightly. At that time, Xiao Chen must have been scared too, but he still hugged her and blocked her with his body. Xiao Chen, I must like myself very much. Well, I like it too, no, I love him too. You said, are we considered friends of life and death? Zhang Miao suddenly turned her head and looked at Chen Yifan with a rosy face. Chen Yifan was taken aback, and then looked at her with some amusement, silly girl, you are still a friend of life and death. What? You want to marry Jinlan with me? Hey! Zhang Miao stuck out her tongue, and didn't speak any more, but leaned against Chen Yifan, and Chen Yifan also hugged her tightly to her husband. The relationship between the two seems to have sublimated another step after this crisis. Chapter 117. Odd, Kurla. When Zhang Miao returned home, it was exactly as she expected. Her father showed a surprised expression that made her extremely proud. Kilu. Kurla hugged Zhang Miao, looked at Zhang Wenbin with some fear, and at the same time did not forget to look at this extremely unfamiliar environment. Don't be afraid, Kurla, this is my father. Although he looks fierce, he is actually very nice. Zhang Miao quickly hugged Kurla and comforted her softly. Zhang Wenbin's face darkened, and he coughed dryly. His eyes drifted to the manectric, as if he was asking whether Zhang Miao had tamed it in the forest, or if the little girl secretly maxed out his credit card to buy it. Bar. But, these are not Ralts, what idiot would sell the evolved Kurla? No, even if it is Ralts, it is impossible to buy it with Zhang Miao's identity. Moreover, his credit card limit is not enough. This kind of mega rare Pokémon basically starts at 8 figures. Immediately Manectric nodded earnestly, breaking all his fantasies. It was really captured by the little girl in the forest. Seeing the triumphant Zhang Miao and Kurla who looked like a girl underage, Zhang Wenbin twitched his mouth. He didn't expect this girl to be lucky in the forest. He had already contacted 530 Zhang Miao with the second Pokémon. It doesn't seem to be necessary, Kurla, it's much better than the Pokémon he prepared. The daughter has grown up, and it seems that she doesn't need the help of his old father anymore. After introducing Kurla to her mother, Zhang Miao took Kurla upstairs. There was originally a lounge specially prepared for Pokémon upstairs, but Zhang Miao wanted Kurla to sleep with her, and Fennekin didn't need it. This guy loves to shed hair all the time, and it's all over the bed. Fennekin, so, love will disappear after all. Pokémon, Kyria attribute superpower and fairy gender, female ability, synchronization. When you are poisoned, paralyzed, or burned by a contest condition, you can transmit negative contest conditions to rival. Species strength 278 qualification, excellent strength, good level, intermediate trainer level, skills, confusion, hypnosis, teleport, disarming voice, Psybeam note, the evolutionary type of Ralts, Kurla can feel the emotions of humans and Pokémon more sensitively than Ralts, and will use a developed mind to manipulate spiritual power. It is said to be able to distort the space around it, allowing itself to see the future clearly, using the psychic powers enhanced by the horns on its head. Touching the curious little guy who was sleeping on the pillow, Zhang Miao smiled, leaned over slightly, and kissed Kurla's little face. Thinking of the little guy's experience, he must have been quite frightened today. Go to sleep, good night, John Lullian. Kilu. Kurla snuggled into Zhang Miao's arms, closed her eyes, and fell into a deep sleep, as if as long as she stayed by her side, all nightmares would be gone. On the other side, Chen Yifan also returned home. Since the forest was a bit far away from his home, it was almost 10 o'clock when he got home. Liang Wenjing was going to call and ask why this kid didn't come home at night, and whether he was with Meow. But I didn't expect this kid to come back. Mom, I'm back. Brat, I thought you were going to sleep outside. Liang Wenjing smiled. Parents have different ideas about sons and daughters. Especially when it comes to staying out at night, they always feel that sons always take advantage of daughters. Ahem. On this point, Liang Wenjing is quite open. How can it be? Isn't this home where you are still here? I don't worry about you being alone. Go to bed early, and stay up late. Okay. Chen Yifan entered the room with a playful smile. The smile on his face gradually faded. Leaning against the door, Chen Yifan let out a long breath. I almost won't see my mother today. Chen Yifan can't believe it, without Suakun. What will be the result? Will I really be done with it? Once my mother finds out, how sad it will be. He didn't even, dare to think about it. So he and Zhang Miao had a tacit understanding and didn't tell his parents about the danger that happened today, so why bother them? Sitting on the edge of the bed, Chen Yifan slowly lay down on the bed, looking at the dim lights on the ceiling. What is his current strength? Perhaps, it is the kind of level that is far inferior to the top, and not bad compared to the bottom. At least among intermediate trainers, his strength should be considered top-notch, let alone elementary trainers. But it's not enough, think of today's Spiritomb, and that Benjula. The gap is too far, too far. Chen Yifan smiled wryly, yes, How long has it been since I became a trainer? It's only been more than half a month, and I have to run before I learn how to walk. How can I be so fast? Are you riding a rocket? He really thought about it, wishing the system would give him a master achievement card, and after using it, he would become a master directly. It's just that the ideal is full, but the reality is very skinny. Chen Yifan shook his head, and suddenly froze when he remembered the system. By the way, when you meet Suakun, does the system reward you with some first encounter gift packs? There should be good things in the gift bag or something. However, Chen Yifan didn't have much hope, he just hoped that something useful would be enough. Immediately thinking about it, I found a gift bag pattern in the system backpack. First encounter gift pack. This gift pack is rewarded to commemorate the host's first encounter with a Pokémon in Legendary. There is only one chance in a lifetime, and 4 different levels of props can be obtained after opening the meeting. It doesn't seem to be the kind of random card scratching, that is to say, you don't have to be lucky. It's not bad at this point, Chen Yifan thought, and 4 different levels of props? Does it start at bronze level? After thinking about it, Chen Yifan opened the first encounter gift bag. Ding! Congratulations to the host for opening the first encounter gift package and getting rewards, gold level props, ability conversion card. Purple gold item, skill learning machine, outrage. Diamond item, flame plate. Mythical props, inheritance of martial arts. Chen Yifan. Seeing the 4 props appearing in the system backpack after opening the gift bag, Chen Yifan fell into the petrified contest condition on the spot. Gold, purple gold. There are also diamonds and mythical props that he can't even imagine, this. Chen Yifan swallowed, the explanation of the first 2 props is self-explanatory, so what are the 3rd and 4th props? Flame plate, legendary is one of the 17 stone plates of Arceus, the creator god, but it is actually just a counterfeit of it. The real stone plate will only be on Arceus. Use effect, only used by Pokémon with fire attribute. After use, all skills of the Pokémon will be permanently increased by 501%, not limited to skill attributes. Chen Yifan's heart trembled, this is the enhanced version of Silk Scarf. Chapter 118. Taking the flame plate out of the system backpack was beyond Chen Yifan's expectation. I thought the flame plate would be a big piece, but it turned out to be the size of a palm, with a fiery red color and a warm feeling when held in the hand. Chen Yifan took a deep breath, originally thought that Bunnelby's silk scarf, which can increase the power of skills by 20%, was already at its peak. Unexpectedly, there can be a more ruthless one. This is called, Diamond Level Rewards. It seems that Bunnelby's position is in jeopardy. Chen Yifan smiled, ability conversion card, outrageous skill learning machine, plus this flame plate. He didn't even dare to imagine what kind of little pervert Yan Tuer would become. That little guy must be more proud. Thinking of this, Chen Yifan couldn't help but smile. Next, Chen Yifan turned his attention to the most important thing. Mythical level reward, martial arts inheritance. What is this thing that only shows a black light and shadow in the backpack? Martial arts legacy, it can only be used by Pokémon with good level, intermediate trainer level, strength or above. After activation, you can get the Pokémon in Legendary, the power of martial arts Bear Master. Note, one Pokémon will evolve after use, and the shape will change permanently after evolution, and there will be no other evolution. 2. After the Pokémon evolves, the attribute will be fixedly adjusted to the one-hit flow mode of fighting type and evil type and the combo flow mode of fighting type and water type. The 2 modes can be switched freely. 3. The ability of Pokémon itself will not change in any way. 4. After evolution, the species strength is adjusted to 550. If there are other ways, it can also be improved. The qualification gold is fixed at the myth level, primary level god. After seeing the last introduction, Chen Yifan had no other thoughts. Inheritance of martial arts. Chen Yifan was shaking with excitement. Isn't this what he dreamed of? Bunnelby is his Earl Dervish Pokémon, and he will always keep it at the top of his heart no matter what. He knew that even though Juju Fang didn't say anything, its self-esteem has always been very strong. But to be honest, Pokémon's natural racial gap is still too important. Yantuer was born to be much better than Bunnelby, even though Chen Yifan didn't want to admit it, but in fact, it was so. The ghost knows how much hard work it took for them to work together to win this martial arts test championship. The moment of the final explosion really surprised Chen Yifan himself. At that time, he himself never thought that Du Dafang would do this for himself and to help him win. He never thought that he would give up Du Dafang, but Chen Yifan was afraid that he would not be able to get an item that could change Du Dafang's fate. One day, the little guy would choose to leave silently because he could not keep up with his improvement in strength. And now, all worries are gone. Chen Yifan really wanted to laugh out loud. If it wasn't for the fact that Bunalbai's strength has not yet reached the standard, he would have been eager to see how powerful this so-called inheritance of martial arts is. But Chen Yifan thought for a while, martial arts bear master. He asked himself that his grades in culture were not bad, but why he had never heard of this kind of Pokémon. Even the Pokémon in Legendary should be recorded. Chen Yifan immediately opened Pokémon Pokédex and began to search. There was a section on the forum dedicated to introducing mythical beasts. As long as there were records about mythical beasts, he could find them wherever he wanted. After a long time, even the first Bear Master directly typed it out, and the result was still 0. Shaking his head, Chen Yifan felt that there was no need to look for it anymore. Thinking about it, this kind of beast had never been born before. The world is so big, full of wonders, there are always mysterious Pokémon that have not been discovered by humans. Moreover, when looking for the information of martial arts Bear Master, Chen Yifan also specifically searched for the information of Suicune, and the records of Suicune are relatively complete. This is a mythical beast that often appears in the eyes of humans. It is said that some people have seen Suicune by the lake a few years ago. Chen Yifan learned that according to Legendary's records, when Suicune appears, it seems to rain heavily, and he is called the god of rain. Sure enough, today's heavy rain seems to be the harbinger of Suicune. Thinking of this, Chen Yifan heaved a sigh of relief. If Suicune appeared to save him on purpose, then there would be something to say, maybe there would be some conspiracy theory or the like. It seems that everything is a coincidence. Although I have a system, I am still a small shrimp. Chen Yifan smiled, and now he has to be busy. He plans to let the two little guys reach the level of intermediate trainers, and then use props and so on together. 0 fur flowers. 1 excellence, 1 legendary qualification. As long as a little training, the threshold of good level strength can be easily broken for them in a short time. Number FL plus F equals. After a peaceful sleep, Zhang Miao Miao called him at noon the next day to ask him to come out. Their little home is about to be handed over. The agency is still waiting for Chen Yifan to pay the full amount. Chen Yifan was also very happy after hearing this, and hurriedly responded and went to the bathroom to tidy up his clothes before going out. Mr. Chen, you still need to pay the final payment of 185W. Do you want to pay by card or transfer? Chen Yifan, who holds a huge sum of tens of millions, naturally chose to transfer the money, and the 2 million scholarship of Chongyuan University also arrived in the account. With a happy smile on Zhang Miao's face, she held Chen Yifan's arm, and accompanied by an intermediary, their names were put on the real estate certificate of the small house. Xiao Chen, from now on, we will be one family. Zhang Miao raised her face and looked at Chen Yifan with a smile. Chen Yifan also smiled, and pinched the little girl's little nose. Yes, we are a family, we're family. Keek. It's getting too far. Next, the two began the busy moving process, but they just moved things in from Zhang Miao's customized furniture store and electrical appliance store. The moving company also specially invited a few strong men, such as Machop and the Machoke family, which are the favorite Pokémon of the moving company. But this kind of Pokémon is more expensive, so Diggersby is more practical. That's right, the evolution of Bunelby, Diggersby. Cheap and easy to use, the favorite of moving companies. When Diggersby, who was carrying an 80-inch TV into the house, appeared, Bunelby, who was helping to carry small items, was stunned. Although it has great strength, but limited by its height, it can only carry small things, otherwise it is easy to hang and rub. Bunelby looked at Diggersby, and couldn't help but shuddered. The induction between the same race let him know that this seemed to be his kind. Looking at Diggersby's mighty look, Bunelby swallowed, and will grow like this in the future? Spoon. Chapter 119. After Diggersby moved all the large refrigerators, washing machines, and dryers to the home, the small house of more than 60 square meters suddenly felt like home. Thank you, Diggersby. Chen Yifan handed over a few banknotes. There is a fee for moving, but it is not expensive for him now, only 500 alliance coins. Dig. Diggersby waved his hand, took the banknotes from Chen Yifan, and counted them carefully. Seeing that the money was correct, Diggersby squinted his eyes and nodded, patted his stomach smartly, and walked away under Bunnelby's wide-eyed eyes. Chen Yifan also noticed the little guy's eyes at this time, and rubbed its head with some amusement. This guy. I think he should be doubting his life when he comes to this meeting. Wow! So beautiful! Are you all installed? Kilo at this time, Zhang Meow Meow came up with Kurla's 680, holding a lot of things in her hands, and Kurla also used psychic to float a few big bags on her head. The weight of the little guy was a bit difficult up. Chen Yifan looked at these two people and opened his mouth in surprise. I'll go, how much did you buy? Dig dig. Chen Yifan is responsible for the relocation of furniture and home appliances, while Zhang Meow Meow is responsible for some small items. Although the two of them are not planning to live permanently, and those who go to school should also go to school, things must be indispensable. No one can stop Zhang Meow Meow's desire to shop. The waiters in the supermarket are shocked. The things that Mitsumi and Kurla bought cost more than 20,000 yuan, which is not a luxury. Is the cheap stuff in the supermarket. Hey, I didn't buy anything, Xiao Chen, if you don't come to help someone carry it, your hands will go limp. Hearing Zhang Meow Meow's coquettish voice, Chen Yifan stepped forward and brought her bag over, only to feel his hands sink, and the bag almost fell to the ground. Chen Yifan was speechless. Sure enough, when it comes to shopping, women are strong men. Bunelby also helped Kurla carry 2 bags of things. Several people entered the house, cleaned up and sorted out various items, and by the way threw Yantu Er and Fennekin outside the door, who couldn't help anything but only made trouble, causing the little guy looked at each other outside the door, and the grievances were hidden inside. After tidying up for a while, the 2-bedroom, 1 living room for the 2 of them was refreshed immediately, and it was spotless. Here, Chen Yifan has to admire Kurla. There is only a Pokémon of the psychic type at home, and I don't know how much trouble has been saved. As long as it is in any corner of the house, garbage and dust cannot hide from the detection of Kurla's psychic, and it is so convenient to gather them all up and throw them into the trash can at once. It made Chen Yifan want to subdue a super-type Pokémon immediately, but he didn't regret that he didn't subdue Kurla yesterday. After all, his own Pokémon quota is not enough, and Zhang Meow Meow is his, her Kurla is equal to his own Kurla, the same reason. Touching Kurla's little head, Chen Yifan praised, and Bunelby also came over, looking at Kurla curiously with big eyes. Psychic is too unfamiliar for it. Kurla was a little embarrassed by Bunelby's look, and shyly hid behind Chen Yifan, holding onto the hem of his clothes tightly. Chen Yifan looked at it amusedly, and did not speak for a while. After learning from Zhang Meow Meow that Kurla was a Stephanie, Chen Yifan was quite curious. It is said that the evolution form of female Kurla is Gardevoir, and the evolution form of male Kurla is Gallade. Is there a case where the female Kurla evolves into Gallade or the male evolves into Gardevoir? After Zhang Meow Meow called him in the kitchen, Chen Yifan picked up Kurla, and by the way, asked Juju to call the 2 little guys outside the door. Dang 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 dang. Xiao Chen, look. Is it pretty? Entering the kitchen, Chen Yifan thought that Zhang Meow Meow was busy cooking in the kitchen, but it wasn't until he saw what was on the plate that he realized that he was completely wrong. I don't know how many fruits this girl bought, and put them into a big fruit plate. At a glance, there are at least a dozen kinds of fruits. Is this not afraid of eating miscellaneous transform jet warrior? Chen Yifan didn't know whether to laugh or cry, pinched the little girl's bulging face. Chen Yifan put Kurla down, and took out the fruit plate with both hands. I don't know where to buy the big plate, and the fruit weighed at least 1 to 20 catties. Come here, everyone, there is something delicious. IWA. Firefox dig. Chiru putting the plate on the coffee table in the living room, he greeted the little ones to eat the fruit. Zhang Meow Meow sat beside Chen Yifan, watching all this with a smile. This small home really gave her an unprecedented feeling of home, completely different from the feeling of her parents, but still the same, all the same happiness and joy. Xiao Chen Zhang Meow Meow's face suddenly turned red, and she looked at Chen Yifan with her mouth pouted. What's the matter? Seeing the girl's expression, Chen Yifan smiled, and stuffed a grape into her mouth. After chewing the grapes, Zhang Meow Meow spat the rest into the trash can, patted Chen Yifan lightly, and gave her to eat without peeling the skin. It was so sour. Poor Chen. Zhang Meow Meow rolled her eyes, and suddenly pulled Chen Yifan up. Xiao Chen, come with me. As he spoke, he pulled Chen Yifan to the bedroom, and poked his head over a second before the door closed. looking at the little guys who were happily eating fruit. "You are not allowed to come in." The little guys all nodded. "There are delicious food here, so they don't bother to care what the two masters are doing." "What's the matter?" Chen Yifan smiled and followed her into the bedroom, thinking that the little girl had something important to tell him. This bedroom was decorated by Zhang Miao herself, and she specially bought a big bed of more than 2 meters, which would not fall off no matter how much she rolled on it. The decoration also has a girly style. Chen Yifan originally thought it was for herself, but it is not true. The other bedroom has only one bed and nothing else. And this bedroom is what they have in common. Xiao Chen. Zhang Miao pouted 0.0, holding Chen Yifan's hand and wanted to say something, but she couldn't say it because she was shy. Chen Yifan raised his eyebrows, amusedly accompanied her to the bedside and sat down, and when he was about to wait to see what she had to say, suddenly Zhang Miao threw Chen Yifan onto the bed. Chen Yifan stared at the red-faced Zhang Miao with wide eyes. In this bedroom and in this atmosphere, Chen Yifan is not a fool. How could he not know what Zhang Miao wants to do? Seeing that Chen Yifan wanted to struggle, Zhang Miao pressed his arms tightly on Chen Yifan's chest, leaned his whole body close to him, and exhaled like blue. An extremely ambiguous atmosphere fermented in the room. Zhang Miao blushed and looked at Chen Yifan pitifully. "Xiao Chen, don't reject me, okay? We've all grown up." Chapter 120. Nearly 2 hours later, the door of the room opened again, and when Chen Yifan came out holding Zhang Miao, who couldn't move, the 4 little ones in the living room had already fallen asleep. Both Yantour and Bunelby fell asleep under the corner of the table, and even Kurla fell asleep against Fennekin. Zhang Miao looked at it with a blushing face, secretly thinking that it's okay, and these little guys don't understand. If these little guys know about such a embarrassing thing, she will be ashamed to death. Chen Yifan carefully put Zhang Miao on the sofa, leaned over and whispered in her ear, "Does it still hurt?" "It's no wonder it doesn't hurt." Zhang Miao glared at him, "This bad little Chen. It is simply a cow, and it can really toss." She didn't know it would be so painful. She should have brought painkillers. I don't know if painkillers will work." "Oops, never mind." Zhang Miao looked at Chen Yifan with a blushing face, and squeezed his arms tightly. "Anyway, I don't care, you will be mine from now on." Chen Yifan couldn't help laughing. Isn't that what he should say? 30. Why did you change your identity? Okay. I will be your person from now on. When the two of them came out of the bedroom, it was already 7 o'clock in the evening, and they put their sleeping Pokémon back into the Pokeball. Chen Yifan didn't plan to rest with Zhang Miao at Zygia. According to Zhang Miao, if she didn't arrive home before 9 o'clock, her mother would probably urge her to kill her, and her father would also send an arrest team to escort her back overnight. After turning off the light in the living room, they went outside the door, and the two smiled at each other. From now on, this is their little home. When we got downstairs, although it was quite close to Chen Yifan's home, Chen Yifan still decided to send Zhang Miao back. After all, she was not feeling well today. After being delivered to the gate of the villa area, the two got out of the car and stayed warm for a while, before being urged by the taxi driver impatiently to separate. Zhang Miao wanted to go up to tell this guy to shut up, but was stopped by Chen Yifan down. "It's not easy to take a taxi around here at night. If this guy is going to run away in anger, he probably has to run back." "Mom. I'm back." After returning home, Zhang Miao endured the pain and ran back to the room in 3 steps at a time. Zhang Wenbin and Ning Jiawai, who were sitting in the living room, were a little dazed. "Husband, what happened to Miao today?" "I don't know." Zhang Wenbin shook his head, as if thinking of something. He frowned and said, "Didn't she go on a date with that kid today? He must have made her angry." "No way, didn't you say that Miao's little boyfriend is very kind to her?" Ning Jiawai worried. She didn't say anything because she was afraid that her daughter would be bullied outside, but when she thought about it, her daughter's personality was not good. "It might be so. It's true." Zhang Wenbin nodded, and heard from his daughter that Kurla was subdued under the help of that boy, which proved that the boy was not a greedy person for money, and he was also a good person, a gentle-looking young man with great talent. "It's very strong, but it's quite what he likes in his heart." So Zhang Wenbin pondered for a moment. "When I meet that kid someday, I have to tell him well. He is a boy, so he has to give way to girls. If he quarrels with Miao, he will still bully her. Then I won't spare him. Ning Jiawei also nodded. On the other side, Chen Yifan, who returned home, naturally didn't know that he had been missed by his prospective father-in-law and mother-in-law, and was thinking about his next training plan. Today is Wednesday the 25th, and there are still 5 or 6 days before the start of school. He will try to improve the strength of Bun Elby and Yantu within this time. When he arrived at university, he absolutely did not allow himself to keep a low profile. Low-key, that is a humiliation to yourself. He, Chen Yifan, wants to take the first place. The next day, Chen Yifan went to the familiar Pokémon training center early in the morning. Since the small Ho-Oh Cup, he hasn't been here for more than a week, but he misses it a bit. The front desk staff here seem to recognize Chen Yifan and greet him warmly. He is also a champion of a famous competition in Sichuan province. The purpose of Chen Yifan's coming here is not only to train himself, but also to find a partner. This time, he has sufficient funds. It can be said that he can also afford an elite trainer. This time, the sparring partner was no longer a junior trainer. Chen Yifan entered the VIP training room and asked all the staff to arrange a sparring partner for the intermediate trainer. As an advanced player, he doesn't have much confidence, so he will first break through these intermediate trainers and practice with them. After learning that Chen Yifan, the champion of the martial arts test, was going to be a sparring partner, the mid-level sparring trainers were very enthusiastic. Even if they heard that Chen Yifan asked them to show their true strength, it was not surprising. In this way, 5 consecutive days passed, and the time came to Monday, August 30th. As early as a day ago, Yantu broke through to the strength of the intermediate trainer level and reached the good level, so he was also rewarded with a silver level scratch card. In addition to a guaranteed bronze scratch card received today, if Bun Elby can break through to the good level today, then Chen Yifan can directly draw 3 cards. Yantu showed no signs of evolution after breaking through. It seems that the accumulation is not enough, but Chen Yifan also has to admire the powerful Pokémon. How long has it been since Yantu was born? It's terrifying to break through even faster than Dudumian. Although Excellence and Legendary are only 1 level behind, the gap is huge, as far as the speed of Pokémon's breakthrough is concerned. Learned a thing or two. After arriving at the training center today, Chen Yifan no longer wants to practice with him, and now Bun Elby's partner is Yantu. Boom! Seeing Bun Elby and Yantu quick attack collide with each other on the field, and the scene 933 of the 2 Pokémon not giving in to each other, made Chen Yifan feel deeply. Although Bun Elby didn't make a breakthrough, but under the double reinforcement of Lychee Berry and Hercules, his strength was still extremely terrifying. It was actually stronger than Yantu who had broken through, and he knocked the little guy flying out. But the little guy in the air didn't have any reason to admit defeat. After falling back to the ground, he rushed towards Bun Elby again. This time he didn't use his skills for digging. Seeing Yantu double kicking him, he chose to fight hard. What it needs now is a breakthrough under strong pressure. In the past few days, the myth of Chen Yifan has been circulating in the intermediate trainer sparring group. It is simply that he is a junior trainer, and few of them are the enemy of a bunch of intermediate trainers. Even Han Zheng, who is considered one of the best in this group of intermediate trainers, is willing to bow down. Magneton, who reached the strength of an advanced trainer yesterday, was taken away by Blaze Kick by Yantu, and Yantu was also in that situation next, breakthrough to the intermediate trainer level. Following Yantu's double kick, Bun Elby was kicked into the air, and Bun Elby made a backflip and fell back to the ground. His momentum changed immediately, and a golden light flashed on his body. Ding! Congratulations to the host, Bun Elby's strength has improved and reached a good level. The system will issue a reward for you, a silver level scratch card. Chen Yifan showed a gleam of joy. Finally, in the coming school days, the 2 Pokémon both broke through. Chapter 121. The 5 days of training were worth it. Zhang Meow was sensible enough not to bother him these days, but was in a good mood. Anyway, Xiao Chen was also hers, so she wasn't afraid of anything. It's just that occasionally I still come to the training ground to watch him train. On the contrary, Chu Rui also came to him once in the past few days. In addition to paying him back the money, he also specially invited him to dinner tonight, and also practiced it for him. After all, Chen Yifan will leave Sichuan province tomorrow. Looking at the 2 Pokémon whose information has been changed on the Pokémon Pokédex, Chen Yifan can't wait to click and use all the 3 items that are going to be used by Yantu. By the way, Yantour took back the Pokeball, and inserted outrageous skill learning machine into the Pokémon Pokédex. Ding! Congratulations to the host, Yantour's ability has been converted into a free one, and he has acquired the outrage skill. Ding! The flame plate has been used successfully, congratulations to the host, the power of Flame Rabbit's skills has been permanently increased by 50%. After using all the props, the information of the current Yantour is as follows: Pokémon Flame Rabbit Attribute Fire Ability, Freedom, Dream Ability, Species Strength 310 Qualification, Legendary Strength, Good Level, Intermediate Trainer Level, Skills, Flame Plate permanently increases skill power by 50%. Quick Attack, Ember, Double Kick, Agility, Flame Charge, Blaze Kick, Outrage. Releasing Yantour from the Pokeball made Bunnelby's face change instantly after breaking through. He could feel the terrifying pressure from Yantour. Such a strong breath. Yantour also shook his head and observed himself, it felt that he was much stronger all of a sudden. Flames lingered on his feet, Yantour stomped on the stomping tantrum lightly, and instantly made a big hole in the sand of the training ground. Seeing Yantour running around happily, Chen Yifan smiled in satisfaction. He doesn't know what level of Yantour's actual strength has reached. The superficial strength may be only intermediate, but he really wants to fight. If you want to come to the Pokémon of the advanced trainer, it should be able to fight. Chen Yifan is not sure, but maybe he can try it later, but right now, it is the most important thing. Chen Yifan looked at Bunnelby, the little guy felt a little depressed, maybe he felt the oppressive feeling from Yantour, making him eager to improve himself. However, even though it is Chen Yifan's first Pokémon, its talent is still a bit low. However, it will be different in the future. The corner of Chen Yifan's mouth was slightly raised, and he clicked to use the martial arts inheritance in the system backpack. Next, it's time to witness the miracle. As a black light flickered on Chen Yifan's body, then, the black light rushed towards Bunnelby, wrapping Bunnelby's body completely. Bunnelby, who was a little panicked at first, also calmed down after seeing the calming eyes of his master. Anyway, the only one it believes in is Chen Fan. Ding! It is detected that Bunnelby is accepting martial arts inheritance. Please wait a moment, Bunnelby is being transformed. With the sound of the system in his mind, the black light wrapped Bunnelby and gradually rose into the air, emitting a more dazzling black light. Yantour, who was alive and kicking around, also fell silent, looking up at Bunnelby whose half-closed eyes were wrapped in black light, a look of awe flashed in his eyes. It's the breath of God. Chen Yifan's eyes flickered, and he clenched his fists tightly. Although he knew that the transformation would not fail, he still couldn't help worrying about the excavation. Come on, little guy. This is the best moment to change your destiny. Ding! The transformation is complete, and the evolution is about to begin. As the black light gradually faded, the excavator slowly landed on the ground, and his body remained unchanged. But in the next second, Bunnelby opened his eyes, which were filled with extremely deep black light, startled the Yantour who was staring at it, and quickly hid in Chen Yifan's arms. Dig! Dig! With a cry, a dazzling white light began to emerge from Bunnelby's body. Chen Yifan hugged Yantour tightly, and Yantour also turned around with wide-eyed eyes. That's the light of evolution. In the white light, Bunnelby's figure gradually grew, from the height of a common rabbit to 1 meter. It didn't stop until it reached nearly 1.5 meters, reaching the common height of a human teenager. The white light dissipated, and the evolved Bunnelby revealed a complete figure. Chen Yifan and Yantour looked surprised. After the evolution, the digging is no longer the cute appearance before, but has become handsome. The body does not appear bloated at all, and the ears still maintain the size before evolution. High tilt. The whole body is still grey, but the body is covered with beautiful black and white patterns, and a fluttering headband is tied on the forehead. Even if there is no wind now, the ribbon behind the headband is also raised high. After the evolution, Du Defang looked down at his hands in disbelief. Although they were not thick, they seemed extremely powerful, and he could feel them carefully. That is infinite power. Compared with Diggersby, the rabbit in front of him seems to be of a completely different species. Ding! Martial arts inheritance is used up. Since this Pokémon is a new species newly born in the world, please ask the host to name it. Chen Yifan pursed his lips and smiled. Inheritance of martial arts, then call it martial arts rabbit. Ding! The information of Butterfree has been loaded. Because there are too many changes, Please check the relevant information by yourself. Ding! Congratulations to the host, but Aotu's strength has improved and reached the excellent level, advanced trainer level. The system will issue a reward for you, Silver Scratch Card X2. How do you feel? Bunelby, oh no, now you are called Budo Rabbit. Digging. But Aotu still maintains a static contest condition, and after the evolution, his voice has changed from the original cuteness to a bit lower. Wu Daifeng moved slightly when he heard the words, wanting to get closer to his master, but as it moved, the entire training ground shook. Wu Daifeng's body suddenly sank down, and he followed him. Because he had just evolved, he lost control of his own power, and even kicked a big hole in the sand of the training ground. Chen Yifan was startled, and quickly checked the information of Bullet and Daimian. Pokémon, Budo Rabbit, 1-hit flow, attribute, 1-hit style, fighting type and evil type combo flow, fighting system and water system number species strength, 5, of Lychee Berry, 70, Lychee Berry increases attack species strength by an extra 20 points, qualification, mythology, 3rd level god, strength, excellent level, advanced trainer level, skill, silk scarf permanently increases power by 20% one-shot flow, fake out, iron head, rolling kick, sucker punch, wicked blow, rock smash. Aerial ace, brick break, bulk up, dynamic punch combo stream, fake out, iron head, rolling kick, aquajet, surging strikes. Note, Budo Rabbit, a special evolution of Bunelby, is a Pokémon that inherits the will of Budo Bear, and can switch forms of Solation during battle. One Nock-style Budaman loves merciless combat, and when his spirits are high, he will corner rival without saying a word, delivering a powerful blow that will knock him down once and for all. Combo-style Budo Rabbit has a calm and calm personality. While avoiding hostility, he can spy on rivals' movements and test rivals' strength. He will block rival with movements like gurgling water, and then use continuous moves like waves to knock him down. Chapter 122. Budo Free. Chen Yifan licked his slightly dry lips, looking at the Pokémon information displayed by the system. Still somewhat in a dream normal. Just looking at the information, he knew that his martial arts strength had improved too much. To be honest, even if Zhang Wenbin's Manectric is in front of him, he still dares to let Wu Dao avoid throwing up. He even felt that Manectric might not be able to defeat the current martial arts. Species strength up to 570, strength up to 150, plus Hercules ability, fighting attribute. And the silk scarf effect used during Bunelby is still there. He seriously doubts, not to mention the same level. Even if it is at a higher level, how many Pokémon can really withstand Budo's punch? It doesn't matter that all the skills except the skills learned by the skill trainer disappeared during the Bunelby period. Yan Tuer picked up his master's clothes and looked at Wu Dao Rabbit in a daze. It was too scary. Just now, it just took a look at the boss who stomped the ground down, and it felt a sense of suffocation. The outburst of uncontrollable power just now made it feel terrified. It was an invincible feeling, and it gave it a deeper feeling than the spiritum it met in the forest. With the passing of 560 hours, Bullet Daimian seemed to have finally mastered his own strength and was able to move freely. With a heavy step, Budo Rabbit was in front of Chen Yifan in the blink of an eye. Dugu. Wu Daimian tried to lean against Chen's arms like before. But suddenly I feel at a loss. Compared with the time of Bunelby, it has grown up too much. It will never be the same again. Seeing Wu Daimian, who has grown into a big guy now, Chen Yifan smiled, touched its head, and hugged it tightly. Congratulations, martial arts. Dig dig. Budo Rabbit rubbed against Chen Yifan and hugged him tightly, but this guy seemed to be a little uncomfortable with his own strength. This hug almost didn't make Chen Yifan lose his breath directly. Bullet Daifeng quickly let go, scratching his head in embarrassment. Chen Yifan let out a long breath, and couldn't help laughing bitterly. Sometimes too much strength doesn't seem to be a good thing. Dude, he almost became the first trainer to be hugged to death by his own Pokémon. Looking at the two Pokémon that he has already upgraded to the current extreme, Chen Yifan smiled contentedly. Let's not talk about Yantour, now he really wants to know how powerful Budaman is. Datk, but it seems, there is no way to know, not even a target. While thinking this way, Chen Yifan looked at the entire VIP training room. It is said that the walls of this training room are made of very hard metal. When the staff introduced it to himself, they also said that it is impossible to be damaged under normal conditions. Maybe try it? With an attitude of giving it a try, Chen Yifan pointed to the metal wall of the training room, "Budeo rabbit, try to hit hard, don't use skills, just commons 10 punches. Dig." Buletendeo rabbit nodded, walked towards the metal wall, exhaled and clenched his fists in one go, the headband on his head moved. Drink. Didn't use any skills, just commons punch against the wall. Boom. In an instant, a big hole was punched in the entire wall in front of him, and the entire training room was shaken, and the surrounding walls continued to crack with huge cracks. Chen Yifan stared, and immediately realized that the situation was not good. Just as he was thinking about it, he suddenly felt light on his body. Buletendeo rabbit had already hugged him and Yan Tuer, and rushed out of the training room. Since the VIP training room was a separate room, fortunately there were no other people around. As Wu Daimian ran out with Chen Yifan in his arms, the whole training room collapsed with a bang. Chen Yifan, who was being held hands-free by Budo, opened his mouth wide. He's just trying. Budo rabbit is a punch from common. Why did the house collapse? Isn't this something that can't be broken? Ruined. As the vibrations spread outward, alarms sounded from the entire training center, and the trainers staying in each training room came out one after another, thinking it was earthquake. Soon, the person in charge of the training center also rushed to the scene, watching this scene with dull eyes. "Chen, Mr. Chen, you said that you trained to collapse this." The person in charge pointed to the collapsed VIP training room, his eyes full of disbelief. The VIP training room is specially built by the training center to ensure the level of training of the trainers. Even elite trainers cannot be destroyed so easily. This Chen Yifan, isn't he a martial arts test champion? Are you sure you didn't plant several tons of bombs in the house to blow it up? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just trying. I didn't expect. I'm so sorry. No matter how much I lost, I will pay for it. Asterisk digging. Iowa. One person and 2 rabbits kept bowing and apologizing to the person in charge. This scene looked unexpectedly funny. The person in charge took a strange look at the Budo rabbit next to Chen Yifan. What kind of Pokémon was this rabbit? It looked mighty, but he couldn't remember it for a while. But he didn't have time to think about it now, so he hurriedly ran to the monitoring room to investigate the monitoring outside. From the monitoring, he was sure that Chen Yifan seemed to be telling the truth. Starting from a loud noise, the outside of the training room was directly pierced through the wall from the inside to the outside. After a big hole appeared in the wall, the whole training room began to vibrate rapidly, and then an afterimage flashed across Budo hands-free, and Chen Yifan and Michuer appeared outside the room. Then, the training room collapsed. The person in charge's eyes became more and more incredible. He wiped his forehead in embarrassment. What the hell is going on with this? Alliance also doesn't stipulate that damages to the training room should be compensated. And to put it bluntly, as long as Chen Yifan didn't use explosives to destroy the training room on purpose, he really wasn't responsible for it, mainly because of the strength of the training room. Even if they reported it, they would still be held accountable by the higher UPS. Explosives are of course impossible. Not to mention the smell of gunpowder. How could Chen Yifan bring explosives into the training center through the security check? When he got back to the scene, Chen Yifan was still standing there. Indeed, he directly collapsed his training room, which made him feel ashamed to escape from the scene, not to mention that this is something from the Alliance, and he couldn't escape even if he wanted to. Cough, Mr. Chen. Hey, you said that? Forget it this time, you don't need to pay. Next time, be more careful and don't destroy the training room again. The person in charge looked at the ruins in front of him and smiled wryly. The training center really had no choice but to bite the bullet and eat this dumb loss. It seems that the defense in the training room is still not up to standard, and we need to strengthen it collectively. Chen Yifan was a little surprised. Didn't he need to pay? After being surprised, he nodded quickly. After seeing the face of the person in charge calm down, Chen Yifan smiled awkwardly. Well, can you arrange another training room for me? Ah? Still coming. Chapter 123. After the person in charge repeatedly confirmed that Chen Yifan would not continue to destroy the training room, he still opened another room for Chen Yifan. When he left, he asked curiously, Mr. Chen, what kind of Pokémon are you? I don't seem to have seen it before. Chen Yifan smiled slightly, and patted Buletendeo Rabbit's shoulder. it's called Bulletin Deo Fang, and you will see it later. Regarding the emergence of Budaman, Chen Yifan really has nothing to worry about. The discovery of new Pokémon is also an outstanding contribution to Pokémon research. His Budomian can be regarded as a new Pokémon, although basically there will be no second Pokémon. But in the past few years, there was another evolutionary hippopotamus king of Slowpoke. It seems that not many Slowpokes have evolved, and the trainer of the Hippo King has not disclosed too much information about the Hippo King. Even if the information about the Hippo King on Pokémon Pokédex is not complete, it's still fine. At that time, it really won't work, so he just said that Budaman is an evolution of Bunelby. Anyway, everyone knows that they have a Bunelby. As for the reason for evolution, he doesn't know either. Let the bricks and mortars go to Bunelby. Martial arts. The person in charge nodded in a daze, and when he walked back to his office, he was still muttering how could he not remember that there was a Pokémon called Budaman? Mr. Chen, are you sure? When we arrived at the front desk in the lobby of the training center, the receptionist looked at Chen Yifan in astonishment. The reason is because Chen Yifan wants to be a sparring partner of an advanced trainer. This is also rare in the training center. The lady at the front desk naturally knew Chen Yifan, she was also a frequent visitor to the training center, and she also won the martial arts test champion, how could she not know him? Advanced trainer, 1000 alliance coins per hour. What a rich man! There was a gleam in the front desk lady's eyes, and she wanted to show Chen Fan the list of senior training partners with a smile. By the way, those two on the 100 battle list, are they here now? The lady at the front desk froze, 100 battle list. Shouldn't. Lord Wuzinyi is not here now, but Lord Luu is. You mean, Lu Tian to accompany you? The lady at the front desk asked cautiously, Luu's sparring fee is 5000 alliance coins, and he is ranked 89th in the 100 battle list. But that was the previous ranking. Now it has dropped 2 places, and it is 91st, but those who can make it to the list are all very strong. And the two of them didn't just have to pay for them to practice with them, they also had to ask their own wishes. If they didn't want to, then no matter how much money they paid, it would be useless. When he heard that Wu Xinyi was not here, Chen Yifan was a little disappointed. This person should be much stronger than Luu, after all, it can be seen only from the ranking. It's a pity, but Luu is also good. Although the ranking is much lower, he is still ranked on the top of the 100 battle list. Being able to fight against the masters of the 100 battle list, even if you lose, you can still have a clear understanding of the 100 battle list. The future is long, he is still a junior trainer. Yes, then you can ask for me. Oh, okay, okay. The front desk lady quickly agreed, and then contacted Luu. Compared with Chen Yifan, Luu's reputation is completely incomparable, far surpassing. He was also the champion of martial arts test, and he is only 2 years older than Chen Yifan. He was also ranked on the 100 battle list, and in Sichuan province, he is a real celebrity. When he heard that someone wanted to practice with him, Luu was still reluctant at first. He didn't want to go even for 5000 alliance coins. This is a matter of face, at least I am a master on the 100 battles list, if someone asks me to practice with me, I will practice with him, how embarrassing. Moreover, he is not in a good mood recently, the drop in the ranking has put him under a lot of pressure, 91st place, it is not close to the end, but if he is not careful, he may fall out. If it really fell out of the ranking list, it would be a big shame. There will also be pressure on the Demon University team, and those monsters will definitely mock themselves. However, Luu hesitated for a while when he heard the name of Chen Yifan, this year's martial arts test champion. I heard that this guy also rejected the invitation of the Imperial Capital University, which is quite to his liking. Zero for flowers. It was the same with him the year before last, when he won the martial arts test championship. It was the time when he was in high spirits, but the teacher at Imperial University got 250,000 to 80,000 yuan, he couldn't bear it, so he went to the second-ranked Shanghai Metropolitan University. Wasn't he still doing well at Shanghai University, and now he is also one of the main players of the school team. Okay, let me know, I agreed to his request, but it's a maximum of 3 hours, I don't have much free time. After receiving Luu's reply, the front desk lady hangs up the phone in disbelief. For her, this is basically a routine question, because Luu and Wu Xinyi rarely agree to practice as a sparring partner. She is also used to being rejected, but she didn't expect to agree this time. You have to be a martial arts test champion, just to save face. The front desk lady notified Lu's words to Chen Yifan, up to 3 hours. Chen Yifan also agreed, he didn't plan to ask him to practice for a long time. Although 5,000 hours is nothing to him who now has tens of millions of dollars, it is quite painful. In the process of waiting for Lu in another intact VIP training room, Chen Yifan did not release Wu Daomian again. It would not be good if another itchy hand ruined the training room. Not long after, the door of the training room was suddenly pushed open, and a handsome young man walked in. His face was a little tired, as if he hadn't slept well. Chen Yifan greeted him immediately. Lu smiled slightly, and stood there waiting for Chen Yifan to come over. You are Chen Yifan? I am Lu. Hello, Lu Tianji. The two smiled and shook hands. Lu shook his head and smiled. It's okay to be an adult, we are all young people, don't say that, just call me by my name, today you are the boss. Lu's words aroused Chen Yifan's favor, and the two chatted for a while. When they talked about the same experience of becoming a martial arts test champion, they found a common topic. That group of guys from Imperial University are so arrogant that there is no end to it. I won't follow their set. Lu said bitterly, thinking about it. He is a martial arts test champion and the first among freshman trainers in Sichuan province, why should he be wronged by you? Chapter 124. Chen Yifan also nodded in agreement, and Lu and his thoughts also coincided with each other. The two chatted very happily, and felt like they hated seeing each other late, and they called each other brothers for a while. If Chen Yifan didn't have this martial arts test champion, then Lu would definitely not even look at him. But it is precisely because of this championship that the two have the right to talk on an equal footing to a certain extent. Lu also patted Chen Yifan on the shoulder with some regrets. Brother Yifan, why don't you come to Moda? What kind of Central Plains University? That school is not good, and it is about to fall out of the top 10. It's fine if you don't come to the Magic University. You haven't enrolled yet. In the worst case, I will ask our school team coaching to ask the school to pay for it for you. When you enter the school, my brother will cover you. Forget it, thank you brother Yu for your kindness. Chen Yifan shook his head hastily. 190 Central Plains University treats him very well, not to mention the generous conditions, and the scholarship will be credited in a few days. If he changes to the Magic University, then he will look down on himself. Lu smiled, and didn't say any more. He was telling the truth. If Chen Yifan really wanted to transfer to Moda, I believe Moda would not refuse to give up his position to a martial arts test champion. However, liquidated damages and so on still need to be negotiated. The school can pay, but first you have to have a certain value. Like Lu, if he hits the top 100 championships within 2 years, the school will naturally value him very much. It's not that there are no champions in the martial arts test, but in the final analysis, Zhongyuan University has also placed a bet on Chen Yifan's future. After chatting for a while, Lu remembered that Chen Yifan came to practice with him, rubbed his sore arm, and Lu walked to the training ground. Come on, what do you want me to do? Lu thought that Chen Yifan asked himself to help him with some related training. Although he is not very proficient in this area, he can do it if he tries. After all, everyone is from Sichuan province. Afterwards, he went to a university or something bigger. On the stage, Chen Yifan is also very honored to be able to make some famous names. Chen Yifan smiled, and then conveyed his thoughts to Lu. Lu was startled, and raised his eyebrows slightly. You want to fight with me? Yes, I hope you can teach me a lot, brother, I am very grateful. Chen Yifan clasped his fists with a smile, and used formal etiquette. Junior trainer Chen Yifan, here is a challenge to you. Lu is a little funny, but it's not good to do Chen Yifan's face. It's okay, just treat it as a joke. Lu also cupped his fists, and said solemnly, Senior trainer Lu, accept your challenge. The two looked at each other and smiled. Chen Yifan continued, I have 2 Pokémon, how about 2v2? They all accepted the challenge, there is no difference between 1v1 and 2v2, Lu nodded and agreed. The two stood side by side, Lu was very gentleman and released the Pokémon first. The advanced trainer and the junior trainer fought. Especially since he was still a master of the 100 battles, he couldn't think of how he would lose. As the red light of the Pokeball in Lu's hand flashed, his first Pokémon also appeared on the field. As a native of Sichuan province, how can I do without a fire-type Pokémon? And the Pokémon that Luu sent to the field this time is the Pokémon that he subdued after he was a senior trainer. Fire Pokémon, Torkoal. Puff. Looking at the thick fog rising from the Torkoal turtle shell, Chen Yifan's expression became serious. Sure enough, there is no weak trainer on the list. Moreover, this is an advanced trainer. Torkoal. As a Pokémon without an evolved form, this Pokémon is inherently not too weak, and is extremely unsuitable for rookie trainer to subdue, so it will never appear in rookie trainer's Pokémon team. Pokémon, Torkoal attribute fire ability, white smoke, protected by white smoke, will not be reduced by rival, species strength 470 qualification, rare strength, excellent level, advanced trainer level, skills, smog, withdraw, rapid spin, ember, body slam, lava plume. Note, Torkoal will burn coal in the carapace to generate energy. If the coal incinerate, the body will become immobile. You can know its physical condition through the smoke of spit up in the carapace. When the flame in the carapace is very strong, it means that it is very energetic. If the flame in the carapace goes out, it will die. The Torkoal in front of me is full of energy. Although it is not the strongest in Luu's team, it is by no means the weakest. It can be said that Luu has taken out the Torkoal, and he has already looked up to Chen Yifan. Zero, come on, let me see your strength. Luu pursed his lips and smiled proudly. In this arena, he is the strongest. Chen Yifan took out the Pokeball, and Feng Tuer also appeared on the field. There was no contempt on Luu's expression, he just relaxed slightly. An unevolved Yantu, not even a young Kujua player, what would he use to fight his Torkoal? There are no referees, so the battle begins as soon as the two send out their Pokémon. D. Thick smoke rose from Torkoal's body, and a purple poisonous smoke swept the audience. Smog. Yantu moved his legs and began to run on the field. This is his way of fighting. Warming up exercises can better activate the fire energy in his body. Smog spread over, and Torkoal didn't stay idle, he opened his mouth, and a group of ember attacks rushed towards Yantu. Double attack of ember and smog. But at this time, Yantu movements became faster and faster, forming after images one after another on the field. Agility. Torkoal couldn't see Yantu movements at all, the speed was so fast that his eyes were blurred. Ember hit the sand and missed Yantu body. Seeing that Ember hit the empty space, Torkoal was slightly taken aback, the thick smoke on his back spit up, it was going to be 5.1 serious. Luu on the side was also a little surprised, this Chen Yifan has a bit of strength, which is not disgraceful to the name of the martial arts test champion. But he didn't take Yantu seriously, he wanted to see how Yantu hid when the oil mist spread across the audience. As the purple mist on the field gradually spread, and it was about to spread to half of the area where Yantu was, Yan Feng'er stopped running. Chen Yifan raised the corner of his mouth slightly. Warm up is over. Time to fight back. Yantu, whose face was a little ruddy due to running so fast, narrowed his eyes slightly, and a boiling fire burst out of his body. Flame charge. In the blink of an eye, Yantu's blazing body was in front of Torkoal, and he bumped into it hard. Chapter 125. Boom. With a loud bang, Yantu hit Torkoal's body with flames. Luu couldn't help but smile, this brother Chen is also naive. Actually trying to hurt Torkoal with the physical skills of the fire department, and don't even look at it. Forward. Luu's smile stopped suddenly, only to see a flash of pain in Torkoal's eyes, his body was knocked back by the Yantu, and finally he stabilized his figure only under the force of his hind legs. How can it be? Luu couldn't believe it, the attack of a flame rabbit could actually hurt his own Torkoal. Torkoal, withdraw. Luu didn't dare to be careless at this time. Although it is every trainer's rule to treat every rival seriously, he told the truth just now, and he fought Chen Yifan with a playful heart. Torkoal shrank his body, his limbs and his head shrank into the circle at the same time. Yantu who was rushing over was startled, and saw Torkoal's whole body spinning rapidly. 30 rapid spin. On the training ground made of sand, because of Torkoal's rotation, a gust of wind was blown towards Yantu with astonishing power. Chen Yifan's eyes flashed with cruelty, since he chose this move. Then they come too. Flame rabbit. Let's go too. Iowa. Both legs of Yantu lit up with white light. He raised his legs high and kicked down heavily towards the spinning Torkoal. At the same time, a trace of red light appeared on his body. Changed to fighting type. Fighting skill, double kick. Bang bang. With 2 loud bangs, Torkoal was kicked out by Yantour's feet, and Yantour also staggered back a few steps. Torkoal, who came out of the shell, shook his head. He didn't suffer any injuries in the shell, but he was a little dizzy from being kicked. Lu's eyes became more serious, and he could see it now. Chen Yifan's flaming rabbit doesn't seem to be on par with his Torkoal strength. But how is this possible? Chen Yifan is just a junior trainer. Yuwa. But the situation on the field couldn't make Lu think too much, and he managed to tie the game with one move. Yantuer opened his mouth, and another ember hit Torkoal. The body flashes red again, and the fighting type has returned to the fire type again. With a wave of his hand, Lu completely lost the burden of a so-called high-level trainer. It would be ridiculous if he lost to Chen Yifan. Torkoal. Lava plume, puff. The sunken hexagonal holes in the Torkoal's carapace glowed bright red, and thick smoke rose from the top. As Torkoal opened his mouth wide, a thick black smoke blazing with flames spewed out all at once. Yantuer's ember attack was submerged, and Lava Plume's attack countered by Yanner. The coverage area is huge, and due to the small area of the training ground, it is inevitable for Yantuer to avoid. Looking at the thick smoke, Yantuer turned to look at Chen Yifan. Seeing Chen Yifan nodding, Yantuer's eyes froze. Intense flames emanated from the body, and the flames condensed and concentrated on its right leg. Blaze kick, ready to go. Seeing that the attack of Lava Plume is about to arrive, Yantuer can feel the burning sensation from Lava Plume, but at this moment, it is fearless. Wow! In the dazzling flames, Yantuer raised his left leg, stretched out his right leg shrouded in raging flames, and faced Lava Plume at an extremely fast speed. Seeing the Yantuer rushing into the attack of Lava Plume, Lu finally relaxed. After all, he is a Pokémon of junior trainer, so it doesn't matter if he doesn't try to dodge the attack, but he even rushed in. Still tender. Buzz. Just when Lu and Torkoal thought that Yantuer was over, a red figure rushed out from the black smoke, with a black mark on his body that looked like it had been burned by soot. The Yantuer who rushed out suffered a lot of injuries, but it was still within its tolerance range. Seeing Torkoal being frightened by him, Yantuer's eyes flashed, and he kicked with a strong flame, fiercely kicks Torkoal on the head. Boom! With a loud noise, Torkoal's body flew out in response. Driven by the tremendous force, Torkoal's body rolled continuously in the air, and finally flew out of the training ground and hit the wall of the training room all at once. Fortunately, the wall was very defensive, and after Torkoal smashed a black trace, he fell down. Seeing Torkoal fall heavily on the ground, just like Lu's heart, it sank to the bottom of the valley all at once. Torkoal lost. Lu stared blankly at Yantuer who ran over to hug Chen Yifan and rubbed against Chen Yifan, who was covered in soot. Although he had not been subdued for a long time, Torkoal was still a real high-level trainer, and he lost. On the other side, Chen Yifan rubbed Yantuer with a smile. He could feel the heat coming from Yantuer's body. The little guy was still quite injured by Torkoal's move. An advanced trainer is an advanced trainer after all, it is much stronger than the magneton of the intermediate trainer Hans Hung coach. Moreover, Lu is still a strong player among advanced trainers, although it can be seen that Lu is not using his main force. But now Chen Yifan can basically confirm Yantuer's current strength. Although the strength on the surface is only at the level of an intermediate trainer, even a Pokémon of an advanced trainer can fight steadily in 223 battles. Patting Yantuer's little butt, making it return to the field, Chen Yifan looked at Lu, who had a complex expression on the opposite side, and didn't know what to say for a while. After all, although the game is not over yet, but he lost to himself in the first game, this buddy must feel very uncomfortable. He still has a good impression of Lu, so don't expose his wounds at this time. At this moment, Lu suddenly laughed and shook his head. Brother Yifan. Sharp. Lu breathed out lightly, never thinking that one day he would become a stepping stone for others. But he didn't have any ill feeling towards Chen Yifan, on the contrary he admired him a little. After all, if someone can achieve this strength, the hard work in it can be seen. The game is not over yet, shall we continue? Okay, let's go on. Thank you brother Yu for your advice just now. Chen Yifan said with a smile. Being able to defeat Torkoal is also your strength, not to mention teaching. Lu smiled, and at the same time took Torkoal back into the Pokeball, and took out the second Pokeball. Luu looked solemnly, "Next, I won't be polite." "Then come on." Chen Yifan also said seriously. With a flash of red light, Luu's second Pokemon appeared on the field. It's a monkey with a flaming tail. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you are notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.